Here, let's check. Let's just take a look at the map here. Yeah, we're getting there. It's coming along, man. Once I get that front facade figured out, we build up. I just want to get everything figured out. Like, I don't want to finish, like, completely finish one side of the building and be like, oh, wait, I forgot to do this. We'll Starship update first. Does the map update live? It updates every once in a while, dude. Sorry. I think after I do the LA subway terminal, I'm gonna try to focus on building like smaller buildings here and there. Like, try to see if we can fill in all this stuff with just small buildings, that's all. Last pose. Remember our conversation about the Storm Motions joining the server? Human person, I don't want to make exceptions to my rule of like 3 months following, dude. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to say no. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't. Once we start bending the rule, then, you know, we bend the rule too much, and then we start trusting people too much. And I'm not saying your boys are, you know, bad or anything, but like, I don't want to. I want to stay strict on the rule, just because then it's interpreted from there. It's not absolute, you know. Human has a bunch of his buddies that he works with that wants to help him finish the Cathedral Drummer. Like, if there was some way we could whitelist these guys, because I trust Human Person, but I don't want to bend my own rules. You know how I feel about that. So, Drummer, I mean, if you want to get with Human Person to see if we can find a way to whitelist these guys, we can, but I don't want to make exceptions to my 3-month following rule. But yeah, that's where we're at, dudes.
Hey, Stevie, baby.
Yeah?
Your mommy's here.
Oh, okay. I gotta take a break, guys. I gotta take a break. So...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I'm gonna put on a vidya here. Hey, how about... Let's go with a remarkable flying machine, huh? Classic. Classic. I'll switch up the title, and I'll be back for Space News.
Sunday, April 12th, 1981. Kennedy Space Center, Florida. The Space Shuttle. 14 stories high. 2,000 tons, poised on the pad for its maiden flight. This is Columbia, the spaceship that will orbit the Earth. Its external tank. It holds over 500,000 gallons of fuel for Columbia's 3 main engines. And the solid rocket boosters, the largest ever used on any launch vehicle and the first to be employed in a U.S. manned flight. At liftoff, the solid rocket boosters, together with the 3 main engines, will unleash more than 6.5 million pounds of thrust needed to launch the world's first reusable spacecraft. Never before has a winged vehicle been launched like a rocket, orbited the Earth, returned through frictional heating in excess of 2,500 degrees, and landed, still aerodynamically sound, to be launched again and again. If it succeeds, the space shuttle will truly be a remarkable flying machine. There are many other goals to be reached during the 54.5-hour mission that lies ahead. 144 test objectives are planned for the flight. These objectives could not be achieved without an astronaut crew. The commander, John Young, the pilot, Robert Crippen. Young has already been in space 4 times for a total of 533 hours. He is the most experienced astronaut flying today. Although Crippen has over 4,000 hours of jet aircraft flying time, this will be his first time in space. The astronauts make their way across the access arm toward the shuttle in the pre-dawn hours before launch. An American spaceship has never carried a human crew on its maiden voyage. At the Launch Control Center, 3 miles from the pad, final steps are being completed in the countdown. Final preparations are also being made in the Mission Control Center in Houston, where control of the flight will switch once the shuttle clears the tower. There has not been a manned launch from Kennedy Space Center since the Apollo-Soyuz test project in July of 1975. With this launch, Young and Crippen, launch controllers at the Cape, and flight controllers in Houston will experience the most dynamic, fast-paced series of launch events ever undertaken in the space program, all in less than 9 minutes. The most challenging ascent profile ever to be flown by a space vehicle. Photographers, film and television crews, plus newspaper and magazine writers from around the world, nearly 2,700 of them are here to cover the launch. In addition, approximately 600,000 spectators line the coastal area near the Kennedy Space Center. Arriving by every mode of transportation, they have come from every state in the Union and many foreign countries. The promise of a rebirth in America's manned space program and the dawn of a new era in space transportation awaits.
14, 13, T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start.
Roger, roll.
The roll will put the shuttle on its precise heading toward an imaginary target in space.
Roll program complete.
Roger, roll complete. Get a status. Vital. Go. Booster. Go. GNC. Go. Eagle. Go. Go at 40, Capcom. Columbia, Houston, you're go at 40.
The shuttle is now 40 seconds into flight.
Roger, Columbia, on the nice ride. You're lofting a little bit. You'll probably be slightly high at staging. Negative seats. Columbia, you're negative seats.
Should anything go wrong, the shuttle is now too high for the astronauts to use their ejection seats.
Columbia, you're going for SRB step.
We see SRB step flight.
Roger, on a step.
103 converge flight.
Bet. Capcom, let's tell them all the calls are going to be a tad early because of the hot first stage. Columbia, you're looking a little hot. All your calls will be a little early.
Okay. Okay, map looks good here.
Stand by, press to MECO. Columbia, stand by, press to MECO. Mark it. Marked. Press for MECO.
Roger, press for MECO.
The shuttle can now continue toward MECO, main engine cutoff.
They like the VAP, Eagle. ECOM. Let's go, flight. Capcom, VAPs go. Stand by, negative return. Columbia, stand by for negative return. Mark it. Marked. Negative return. And your VAP is good.
Outstanding. Sure is. We can confirm it. What a view. What a view.
And single engine rotor flight. And Columbia, your single engine rota.
Columbia can land safely at the Naval Air Station in Rota, Spain, even if 2 of the 3 main engines should fail. Right now, the engines are generating over 42 million horsepower.
At MECO 25, 6, 0, up at 200.
Roger, MECO. And we got MECO confirmed. MECO, Roger, Columbia, MECO. Right on the money, nominal.
Main engine cutoff. Columbia is now in space, traveling over 18,000 miles per hour.
Okay, we got step.
Roger, we confirm the step, Columbia.
The external tank has just been jettisoned and is now falling away from the shuttle back toward Earth. The tank will break up as planned over the Indian Ocean when it comes into contact with the atmosphere. Shortly, by firing the OMS, Orbital Maneuvering System engines, Columbia will achieve orbit. Then one of the most important tests of the mission will be attempted, opening the payload bay doors. The doors must be opened before the end of the 6th orbit to expose the space radiator cooling system. If the radiators cannot be exposed, heat collected from the onboard electronics cannot be released, and the astronauts will have to return home. The OMS burns are successful. Columbia is now in orbit, circling the Earth at an altitude of approximately 150 miles. The payload bay doors will now be opened.
Okay, the 4th door's coming open now.
Roger, copy.
Well, you are missing one fantastic sight. Boy, that is really beautiful out there.
We appreciate those updates.
Both doors have been opened. The radiators can be deployed to begin dissipating the heat.
The doors are all opened up and hunky-dory. Glad to deploy it right on time.
And the radiators look good.
Okay, we want to show you our own pods here. We do have a few tile missing off of both of them. Off of the starboard pod, 3 tile and some smaller pieces. And off the port pod, looks like I see one full square and looks like a few little triangular shapes that are missing. And we're trying to put that on TV right now.
Roger, Crip, we can see that good.
From what we can see of both wings, tops and leading edges, though, all those are fully intact.
Within minutes, an assessment is completed on the impact these missing tiles could have on the remainder of the mission. At a news conference later in the day, Flight Director Neil Hutchison answers questions from reporters.
But you asked me if I knew where there were any other tiles that might be loose. The answer is no. And quite frankly, we're not worried about any other tiles being loose.
At this writing, is there anything at all that would lead you to say you might not go for a full duration mission?
Nothing.
Columbia, Houston, you guys did so good, we're going to let you stay up there for a couple of days. Your gopher on orbit.
Spacecraft wants to go for on orbit. This thing is just performing just outstanding.
Roger, we agree with that.
And Columbia, Houston, just for your information, you dropped those SRBs right on target, and they were floating just the way they ought to be, and the boats were getting ready to fish them and bring them back.
Okay. The ride that they gave us was pretty neat.
The solid rocket boosters, which separated from the Columbia as planned 2 minutes 11 seconds into the flight, landed on target in the Atlantic Ocean, 151 miles downrange from the launch site. After being towed back to Kennedy Space Center, both boosters will be refurbished and used again in a future shuttle flight. The third and fourth OMS burns are also successful, raising Columbia's orbit to an altitude of approximately 172 miles. For the first television transmission from inside the spacecraft, the crew will give a status report on the mission.
The flight so far has gone as smooth as it could possibly go. We've done every test that we're supposed to do, and we're up on the timeline, and the vehicle has just been performing beautifully, much better than anyone ever expected to do on a first flight, and no systems are out of shape. And it's delightful up here in zero gravity, my dad. Of course, we owe this to a lot of people, and we certainly want to thank everyone who has helped get this thing airborne, and can take great pride in it's doing so well right now. Okay, we're switching over to the aft camera here. Yeah, I'd like to echo John's words as I usually do. I guess being the so-called rookie on this flight, I had a thrill from the moment of liftoff all the way up to what we're doing now. It's really been super. The spacecraft has worked as advertised all the way along. I think we've got something that's really going to mean something to the country and the world. This vehicle is performing like a champ, like all of us that have worked so long on it knew that you would.
Okay, sir, we appreciate those comments.
I guess that does it.
That was a good timing. I think you must have practiced. We're just about to lose your goat song.
Just accident.
Just accident, says Robert Crippen. None of the other events of the day have been accidental. Every test, liftoff, SRB separation and recovery, ET separation and impact, 4 ohms burns, payload bay door latch opening and closing tests, radiator latch deploy and stowing tests have all been successful.
I guess we owe you guys one super attaboy for today. This is fantastic. You worked through a pretty long, hard day, and you're essentially right on schedule, which is going to be close to being a first sort of spaceflight biz, I think, for first day activities. It's sure been fun working with you today, and we look forward to seeing you in the morning. I hope you get a good night's rest.
Okay, you guys did super work today. See you mañana.
Roger, thank you. See you tomorrow, guys.
Well, many hour went into this thing. A job well done by the shuttle space team. We can't say that she's sleek and lean, but I'll tell you right now, she's a mean machine. The Columbia, not the kind you smoke. This here's a bird.
Morning, Columbia. Welcome to day 2.
All right. Appreciate that super wake-up music this morning. Well, we sure enjoyed it. Missing a good breakfast.
Today, the astronauts will test onboard systems and also review procedures for tomorrow's landing. A test of the flight control system is conducted by John Young. The flight control system operates Columbia's aerosurfaces, the elevons, body flaps, rudder, and speed brake. These surfaces are useless in the vacuum of space, but will be essential tomorrow when the shuttle lands. This will require precision maneuverability, which the aerosurfaces provide. Payload bay door cycling tests help ensure that latching and closing procedures can also be done before entry tomorrow. As with every mission, many pictures of the Earth are taken by the astronauts. Over 500 on this first shuttle flight. Active volcanoes, cloud formations, alluvial fans, giant whirlpools over 15 miles in diameter, sand dunes 1,500 feet high, running unbroken for hundreds of miles. The high Himalayas, where mountain peaks reach 24,000 feet. And one of the most remarkable space photographs ever taken of the Earth, an area in Iran exposed to wind erosion, which has resulted in these breathtaking silt and sandstone formations that look more like a painting than a desert. After lunch on the second day, the astronauts receive a phone call from the Vice President of the United States, George Bush.
How's it going up there? Everything rocking along all right?
Spaceship is just performing beautifully.
Well, it's great, and everybody views it, I'm sure, just as the forerunner of great things to come. I think your trip is just going to ignite the excitement and the forward thinking from this country, so I really just wanted to call up and wish you the very best.
We certainly appreciate it, Mr. Vice President.
The crew also don and check out the ejection suits they will wear during entry. Young, Crippen, and Columbia pass every test. They are ready for the final phase of the mission, entry and landing. April 14th, 1981. NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center on the edge of Rogers Dry Lake Bed in California. A recovery convoy of 24 vehicles and more than 100 personnel are assembling here to power down Columbia after landing. Enormous crowds are also beginning to arrive. A string of traffic 6 miles long waits to enter the base. Thousands more are already here. Close to 1/2 million people will eventually be on hand to see the landing. On board, the astronauts suit up for entry. The ascent and orbital phases of the mission have gone extremely well. Now the final phase must be completed. Before that begins,
Columbia, you have a go for payload bay door closing.
the doors, which have been open a total of 47 hours during the flight, must now be closed. Then, using the RCS thrusters, Columbia will maneuver into deorbit burn attitude, head down and backwards, fire the OMS engines one last time, and descend into the Earth's atmosphere.
Nice and easy does it, John. We're all riding with you.
Columbia is out of contact during the OMS burn. Mission Control will not know if this burn was successful until they are in communication with the spacecraft over Australia. It is now over the Indian Ocean on the other side of the world, but from that distance the burn must be precise so that later Columbia will hit the lake bed target in California.
Columbia, this is Houston through Yargady. We're standing by.
Burn was on time at nominal reserve 110.
Columbia is now committed to entry. With an RCS post-burn maneuver and several firings, it is oriented to a heads-up, nose-first attitude headed toward entry interface. This is where the atmosphere begins, at approximately 400,000 feet. From that moment until the shuttle reaches 165,000 feet, it will be in communication blackout, out of touch with mission control for almost 20 minutes. The landing site is almost 4,400 miles from entry interface. Chase planes are preparing to take off. One will call out altitudes and check Columbia for any damage just prior to landing. When the shuttle touches down here, it will be traveling at 216 miles per hour. Right now it's going more than 17,000 miles per hour. Before it lands, it must slow down, lose energy, and it must survive the intense heat caused by traveling through the atmosphere at such a high rate of speed. Several S-turns or roll reversals are used to slow down and maneuver Columbia through the atmosphere. This one is done at 256,000 feet when it is traveling at more than 26 times the speed of sound. This one is done at 208,000 feet. During these two roll reversals, entry heating is most severe, with temperatures reaching 2,500 degrees some places on the vehicle. The aluminum skin will melt at 320 degrees. The silicate tiles must insulate the vehicle from the tremendous heat. Since there is no test facility on Earth to simulate the aerodynamic and structural environment Columbia is in right now, only calculations could be used to predict what would happen during this phase of the flight. The predictions and calculations had to be right.
Hello there, Houston, Columbia's here.
Hello, Columbia. Houston's here. How do you read?
Plan clear, and we're doing Mach 10.3 at 180 AS.
And we couldn't agree more, John. Your state vector's good. We've got good data in-house.
Okay.
The entry trajectory, velocity, and position look good. Columbia is heading for home, now only 470 miles away.
Nothing more left RCS, but okay. Right, we're showing a roll.
And, John, we're showing you rolling right. Looking good.
Right, normal roll.
We're showing him crossing the coastline flat.
Columbia, we show you crossing the coast now.
Right, yeah. We can come.
The shuttle is first sighted at about 100,000 feet with a long-range camera from Anderson Peak, California.
What a way to come to California.
In flight photo, I still look perfect, right on the nominal.
Roger that. Out of 112K, 4.8 Mach.
Push me up this in a row.
We see DELAS 21 degrees.
A roll reversal is done over Bakersfield, California.
Oh, that's beautiful. Chase has a tally. Roger, checking.
And we're seeing 1.3 Gs coming around the hack.
Roger that.
The astronauts are making the final turn to line up with the runway.
Columbia, you're really looking good. Right on the money. Right on the money. And turning on to final, your winds on the surface are calm.
I got a win.
You're right on the glide slope, Columbia.
Clear, John. Looks real good on the news. Everything looks real good.
Chase reports no tile or other damages evident underneath the shuttle. Columbia's altitude is now just over 5,000 feet.
Pretty clear.
Without power, Columbia must land. It cannot make another attempt.
They're coming. They're down. Feet. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown. Those gears come. 5, 4, 3, touchdown. Look him off, skipper. Columbia's on the roller.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful.
You want us to take it up in the hangar, Joe?
We're going to dust it off first.
This is Wolf Grid, all electric flying machine, I'll tell you that. It was super.
Okay, convoy's on its way.
Convoy on. We'll stop on the Columbia. We'll stop.
The maiden voyage of Columbia
Still
has
cool.
been a success.
It's still
The
cool,
astronauts
man.
and
It's
the
still
vehicle
cool.
have met
I love
or
it.
exceeded all 144
I
flight
still
test
I
objectives.
still love it.
The integrity of all the systems, propulsion,
How did that thing
avionics,
work on the first try?
structural,
How is that even
flight
possible?
control, power,
It's awesome.
and thermal
It's so
have been
cool.
affirmed. John Young's comments after returning home.
I can't tell you what a tribute that is to the American working man and the American working woman, too. You can't imagine the variety of people who worked on this vehicle, from all walks of life, all capabilities and limitations. It's all due to their individual efforts. They proved that they can do the job. They proved it for the world to see. And I'm mighty proud to be associated with folks like that.
What a tribute indeed. The Columbia represents an achievement in aerospace technology and development never before realized in the history of manned spaceflight. It is our basic building block for the future.
It's what we've been trying to do for the last 10 years. We've got a vehicle with a payload performance that will allow us to do that, much cheaper than we've been able to do it before. It will immeasurably improve the defensive capability of the country. It will help develop space science and technology. When we get operational, the space shuttle will be able to do in 5 to 10 years what it would have taken us 20 to 30 years to do otherwise. We couldn't do it if we didn't have the space shuttle and that payload capability. And the sooner we do those things, the better off the country's going
I
to be.
don't think so, Flakin.
A revolutionary new era in space transportation has just begun. Routine
That's awesome,
access to
Cherokee.
space.
You had a color TV, bro.
Welcome to the future.
Yo, color TV in 1981. Good for you. Wow, you must be rich. Did it still have the knobs on it? Did it have a remote? I don't, dude. I don't think it had a remote yet, man. That was a couple of years later. What a beast. This shot always gets me. It's that slow-mo, really, really high-res shot of Columbia coming in. This shot. Color TV, what is this? Yeah, wired slider remote. That's awesome. Look at that. This shot. Oh. That's ridiculous. What a beast. Oh yeah, I came in when I came around, dude. If you had those big cabinet TVs, you were like, bro, you had a big cabinet TV. You had money, you know. Yeah, he did grease it on the first frickin' try, Tech. Dude? I still can't. How did that work? How did that thing work the first time? How was that even possible? You imagine all the math they had to do to get that done? It's not like they had, like, the processing power that we do to freaking compute all this. The space shuttle was designed on blueprints, for Christ's sake. How did you get that right on the first try? That's just damn impressive, dude. Like, it's just freaking impressive. It's just freaking, I can't believe that. How did they even do it? How did they do that? How'd you do that on the first try? Like, and then this shot of John Young, you know, you guys know that I love this because John Young can't contain himself. He's just like, this is awesome. It's this shot of John Young walking around the space shuttle. Look at how big it is. That's one of the best shots I've seen that conveys the scale of that vehicle. It's freaking huge. Training, lots of training, yeah. Lots of testing, verification, and analysis. It took 10 years to make that, man. It took 10 years. Okay, Ian, what's on your mind? Probably a complex question, but with hindsight, was putting crew on STS-1 a good call, or should they have looked into automated flight? I know the shuttle couldn't do full autonomous at this point. Ian, I think that it's hard to say in hindsight. So in hindsight, everyone that knows anything about the space shuttle, what would you say? Yeah, of course you should have made it automated. Look, the Soviets did the same thing with Buran, so why couldn't we do that, etc., etc. But you got to remember that the shuttle basically was devised 10 years before Buran by a long shot. Like, the difference in computing power between 1981 when the shuttle first flew and 1988 when Buran first flew is that's a big technological jump. That would be like 2012 versus 2022. Like, that's a lot of difference right there, Like, dude, even in 2012, like, the idea that you could live stream is ridiculous. Now people live stream all over the place. Live streaming when I started doing it was not like, and people are like, really? You're gonna sit there and play video games that people are gonna watch all day? Really? Okay. Right? So, Ian, I think it's hard to say in hindsight, or it's easy to say in hindsight that it should have been, uncrewed on the first flight. However, the way the shuttle was designed, and this explains the solid rocket motors and everything, the way it was designed was basically to be like an airplane. So, 4 test flights and you're good to go. Just like how a regular airplane is. But see, the reality of that situation is that airplanes go thousands of hours in the air before they're even certified by anyone to fly. Like, they do thousands of hours of testing. Like, the 777X, we watched the first test flight. They literally do a test flight like every day, just flying it around. And I have buddies that live out in Washington State, and they see it flying around all the time. So they're doing 777X tests all the time. I think that's the mistake. Not that it should have been unmanned, but honestly, the shuttle should have flown. They should have really. Every mission should have been a test flight. Like, they shouldn't have started deploying payloads, and it should have been a big test program before you even started putting passengers on it. Like, I'm talking, that's what they should have done. It should have been two-man crews, test flights, maybe another person, start deploying test satellites, and just get more flight time under your belt. And, the thing is that's basically what they did, right? That's basically what they did. They wanted to ramp up the shuttle, and they did 4 test flights. They validated a bunch of equipment on the first 4 test flights, 1, 2, 3, and 4, STS-1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they kind of went from there, and they started doing missions. The idea is that, it'll come into its own, right? You'll learn about the vehicle, and that's your test flights. Because it's a NASA program, technically every mission is a test flight, right? You learn something every time, and you get better at it over time. So because they wanted to operate it like an airplane, so that was the idea. They didn't want to just keep doing test flights up into space, etc., right? And see, the thing is that that's what they did. The problem is that they didn't listen to the data. The data was there. The data was there about SRB O-rings. It was there. Everybody knew it was there. That knew anything about the shuttle knew that it was the data's there, and the data's telling you that the O-rings aren't sufficient enough. But they didn't want to ground the space shuttle at the same time. You wanted to keep flying, but that's the thing. Like, the O-rings would have taken another year or two to figure out. You know, I probably would have said the O-rings, had they figured it out and Challenger not happened, it probably would have taken another 2 years, probably another 2-year delay to the program. And since you got to remember that the Air Force ramped down every single rocket that they flew. They ramped down Titan, they were ramping down Atlas, they were ramping down Delta, and the space shuttle had to fly because it was supposed to replace everything. You know, so there was a lot of pressure to get the thing flying, and that was at odds with the engineering. I mean, Ian, I know you know that I know. Everybody here that listens to me about this stuff knows exactly what I'm talking about. Dude, this takes time. It takes time. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. It's the same thing with SLS. It was the same thing with Saturn V. You got to be patient. Even with Starship. I see people losing their patience with Starship. Even with how fast SpaceX goes. Look, we don't want to be hasty about this stuff and get somebody killed and then have every freaking normie that knows nothing about space weighing in on the space program. Oh, it's dangerous. Why are we doing things in space? It's dangerous. We just got to work on stuff down here. Like, just, no, it's not good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we can do both of those things, right? It's not like a binary situation. You can do both of those things. You know, like, but you don't want to do that, because the thing about NASA's funding is that it's very susceptible to perception. That's the thing. Like, if people see NASA, if taxpayers see NASA as worth it, that will find its way into, a politician will understand that, and they'll, you know, if they don't see it as worth it, they'll use it as fodder to cancel programs. That's what happened during Apollo. That's what happened during Constellation. It happened during the space shuttle. Like, you know. So, and that's what I get annoyed, dude. I usually don't care what people say, but when people use that, you know, like the Investigator General meeting as, you know, oh, look how expensive this is. It's very frustrating, because, like, we've been down that road, play stupid games, right? That's why it bothers me, because NASA's funding is entirely based off of perception. If we don't see a need for it, if we fail to see a need for it, then people are, it will get canceled. And that, dude, that like haunts my dreams. So, like, you know, the space shuttle, I think the right move would have been probably just to extend the Titan program and have like a decade of overlap between Titan and the shuttle. Just like how Starship is going to have a decade of overlap with Falcon, easily. Falcon is going out till 2028 at the very least, right? Because of the NSSL contracts. It's good to have an overlap, you know? The Gemini program heavily overlapped with the Apollo program. Not so much the test flights, but like the Gemini, they stopped flying the Gemini program, they started flying Apollo a little bit later. But, you gotta... You gotta have some overlap. I think that's where they went wrong. You know, they thought that the shuttle would be done in 10 years. They thought, you know, the shuttle started in 1972. They'd be good by 1979, making the first reusable vehicle in one of the most complicated machines ever to fly into space, ever. I think the only thing more complicated would have been Buran. And, dude, like, think about that for a second. That's less time than the Saturn V. And the shuttle is way more complicated than the Saturn V. Like, way more complicated. All you got to do is compare Apollo's heat shield to the shuttle's heat shield, and there you go. There's your factor of complication, right? I feel like Falcon stays as long as the ISS operates. That's a pretty good way to put it. You're ranting again. No, I'm not. I'm detailed. I'm answering the question with detail. I'm not ranting at all. It's important to bring up, because you have to understand the context in which the shuttle program, why the program did what it did. They should have done more test flights. They should have paid attention to the engineers. The shuttle wasn't ready. The testing was subpar because it was underfunded and because there was pressure from the Air Force to get it done correctly. Not done correctly, get it done fast. But once again, when you're building the most complicated thing in the world, the most complicated vehicle ever fly, the first reusable vehicle, it's going to take time. And yeah, it's going to take time, and it would have... Yeah, the shuttle program probably should have been delayed by another 2 years, but they couldn't do that because they were running out of Titans. They were running out of Titans, they were running out of Atlas missiles, Atlas rockets, they were running out of Delta rockets. The overlap should have been not like 4 or 5 years, which is what it was. Which is what it was supposed to be. It should have been. It should have been like a decade. Like we should have. The Air Force should have kept making Titan 4. They should have. They should have moved to Titan 4, kept making it, and flown that in conjunction with the space shuttle. Yeah, I think that's where they screwed up, because not having that much of an overlap between in your programs. Because if the Air Force is going to use the space shuttle and if they're going to use Titan at the same time. Right, not having enough overlap, basically redundant dissimilar architecture. That's it, dude. I think that's the mistake that they made, because now the Air Force is expecting these launches to happen, right? And they're expecting the shuttle to be good to go by the middle of the 80s. Like, think about it. The Air Force, the shuttle was supposed to fly in 1979, and that's like Columbia, good to go, ready to fly. It didn't fly until 1981, and the Air Force was going to operate Discovery for the first time in 1986. That's way behind. And if you had a 10-year overlap in your programs between, like, the Air Force Expendable Launch Vehicle and shuttle programs, that probably would have given them enough time to figure out all the kinks with the shuttle. Redesign those SRBs. Figure out better spray-on foam insulation adherence mechanisms, and understand the shuttle. We did the Saturn V in about 10 years. SLS is about 10 years as well.
Go at throttle up.
From, blank slate to test flight, right? Shuttle was about the same, give or take, 1972 to 1981. Saturn V is about the same thing. But you got to remember, the shuttle's more complicated than all those things. So I'd probably say it would have taken about 15 years to get that shuttle, to get the shuttle like really good to go. And if you compound the time from 1986 to 1988 of NASA doing all their revamps, right, because of Challenger, and you compound that onto the shuttle being delayed from 79 to 81 when STS-1 flew, it's about 15 years. The shuttle is way more complicated than even SLS. It's way more complicated. Well, SLS is based off of the space shuttle. It's more complicated than Saturn V. The only launch vehicle that's more complicated than the space shuttle is Buran. So, how much more complicated would you say Starship is compared to the shuttle? I'd say it's about equal, Pigzig, because you're fully reusing the vehicle. Actually, it's either about the same or maybe a little bit more. It's hard to make reusable vehicles in real life. It's so difficult. It's not like KSP, dude. It's just not. It's not. If you want to taste, play Real Solar System, right? But yeah, it's... Yeah, Ian, I think that's what did it. I think the overlap from the not the EELV, but the ELV program at the time, there wasn't enough overlap, so there was pressure from the Department of Defense to rush missions, and that normalized deviance, and there you go. Shadows, 3-month reset. Space. Why would you say Buran is more complicated? Because you're strapping an SLS core stage to basically a shuttle? Yeah. Liquid fuel boosters. 4 liquid fuel boosters instead of 2 solid rocket boosters. You basically have a core stage. It can do more. It factors in perfectly with kind of a scale that I have in my head. If your vehicle does more, it's going to cost more. Simple as that. It's very simple. If you want to buy a regular flatbed truck, right? For like $100,000, a flatbed truck with a crane on the back is going to be like $150,000. Why is it more? Because it does more. Buran and Energia could do way more than the shuttle, because Buran can launch unmanned, it can launch without the orbiter, it can launch with cargo, and they were looking at like flyback booster designs, and it's using a Hydrolox core stage. It would have been... it was more complicated than the shuttle. The shuttle's pretty complicated. Buran can do more. It can do more than the shuttle, so it's more complicated. Did you mean the Challenger downtime to allow NASA to fully polish up the shuttle design? Correct. If you compound that with the shuttle research and development, Ian, it equates out to about 15 years, give or take. Shuttle got approved in 1972, right? And it's not about 15 years. It's close, right? Shuttle's done in 1972. They first flew in 1981, so that's 9 years. So that's 9 years. And then they were doing test flights until 1983, right? That's when Challenger came along. In 1983, 84, and 85, they started doing operational missions. So you go 72 to 83, that's 11, and then you do the downtime after Challenger, after 51L, so that's 1986, 1987, 1988, because it was at the very beginning. You know, Challenger was basically at the end of 1985, right? Beginning of 1986 was January, so that's a 3-year gap, so 86, 87, 88. So what is that, 14 years? See, it equates out. The shuttle is more complicated. If it took 10 years to make a Saturn V, you know, the shuttle is complicated by it's complicated for different reasons, but yeah, it'll take about 15 years. It's about right. I honestly think that, you know, if you kind of take that and you apply that logic to SpaceX, you can get a pretty good projection as to when, like, Starship will be really, really good to go. And, you know, Starship was 2018, so SpaceX moves faster. They move faster. It's just, that's just how they roll, because Elon's a G, and that's how it do. So, I mean, SpaceX got Falcon 9, which was a paper rocket in 2008, on the pad in 2010. That's a ridiculously fast iteration, even by commercial, like, even by anyone's standards. Starship's done in 2018. Starship started in 2018 in the stainless steel variant, so I kind of used that as the start, but Raptor development was being done as early as 2016, right? I don't think it's going to take until 2028. I really don't. I think because SpaceX moves at such a fast pace, even now, I don't know, 2025, 2026 is really when, like, Starship will come into its own. That doesn't mean that there isn't going to be operational Starship missions. The shuttle started flying operational flights in 1983, and it came into its own by 1985 because they launched 9 times. 9 shuttle missions in 1985. They were aiming for 2 shuttle missions a month in 1986. There would have been 24 shuttle launches in 1986, and they were going to do 48 in 1987, which would have been absurd. That would have been really cool. So, I mean, you factor in that, you know, SpaceX moves probably like twice as fast as everybody else. So building something as complicated as Starship, Starship's about as complicated as the shuttle, if not maybe a little more. Shuttle took about 14, 15 years. Now, so divide that by 2, 7 years, right? 2018 plus 7, 2025. There you go. That's about the time when Starship is going to need to be operational for the Artemis missions. I mean, it makes sense. The math checks out. Starship BFR development started around 2012, but that was more SpaceX trying to figure out what they wanted and needed. True development probably started in 2015, 2016. Yep. Okay, but Block 3 and 4 is when Falcon 9 started to make sense. So Falcon 9, first flight in 2010. Block 3 and 4 came around in 2014, 2015. Block 5 came around in, what, 2017, 2018? It's going to take some time, Switchio. I mean, but, you know, SpaceX can, you know, they go faster than everybody else, dude. I'm telling you, Starship is going to be, like, normal by 2025. Like how we think about Falcon missions right now. Like, I had a Starlink mission. We watched a Starlink mission this week. Starlink 39. Lowest launch numbers I've ever seen for a Falcon launch. I mean, it was at 9 in the morning, but yeah. Had like 600 for a launch stream. 600 for a launch stream is unheard of in 2017. The minimum I was getting for those Falcon missions where they were testing reuse was like 1,500. Yeah, so I mean, the fact that people are bored by Falcon 9 should give us a pretty good sign there. Oh, new conspiracy theory. The FAA's slow rolling the launch site in Boca to slow down Artemis. Dude, I don't know, man. Just let them do their thing. Hellfish, look, if... I understand that this stuff takes time, right, with the FAA. It takes time. It was, you know, it was the beginning of 2022, and then it was February, right? And now it's March, right? I understand that there's a little bit of a nominal window, but at, you know, I don't mind if they keep extending it. If it gets out to like the summer, then I'm going to be like, really? You took all this time to figure out if grass gets affected by sonic booms? All right, whatever. But at the same time, it's better to understand that stuff before you start flying. Now, I wouldn't rule that up as any tinfoil hat stuff. Now, if Starship flies, if the FAA approves it and Starship starts flying, and then the FAA is like, oh no, wait, we forgot to take into account how this affects the fence post of the Civil War trail, right? Which was something that was in the programmatic assessment. If Starship starts flying out of Boca and then they're like, oh wait, no, never mind. That's when I'd be like, dude, what, are you serious? You had all this time to figure this out. We waited all this time and we were assuming you're doing your due diligence. You telling me you forgot something? Right? Like, that's when I'd be like, really? Like, this stuff takes time. And I understand that. You got to be patient, dude. Imagine how ridiculous that thing would have been if NASA and the Air Force had been patient. Well, NASA, well, we could argue that NASA was. It's everybody else. But that's another story. Oh, it's behind schedule. It's like, yeah, because it's complicated, dick. Yeah, Yarg. It's pretty cool, man. I mean, honestly, dude, that's unheard of. You told 2016 EJ that a Falcon would be launching pretty much every week and landing every time. I would have been like, huh? Every week? Wow, that's cool. yeah, Hellfish for sure. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna keep space news short today. One, I want to play KSP. I don't know what we'll work on. Maybe we'll work on the catch arms or something. Yeah, exactly, Kev. Oh, boy. John Young is an absolute Chad when it comes to this stuff. Can we look at those composite tanks for the EUS? What do you want to know, Pigzig? So they want to do composite tanks for the EUS. We did, I was waiting for you to type something, so. All right, how much extra capability would that provide? 170, Boeing projected 170 tons to low Earth orbit from SLS, which is, that's on par with Ares 5, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's on par with Ares 5. Ares 5 was 180 baseline. Yeah. We get SLS with a composite upper stage. Now we're talking. Now that's a vehicle that I would want. Yeah. I still think NASA needs a way to be able to get that Orion into low Earth orbit that doesn't involve putting it on SLS, but that's just me. Actually, could you build a hypersonic test track in KSP? Can't do it. KSP really gets a little bit angry when you have vehicles that are longer than render range. How much does Angara lift? 25,000 kilograms. Angara's a good rocket. But Angara was designed by the Ministry of Defense. It's designed by the MOD in the same way that Delta IV Heavy is designed for the U.S. Department of Defense. It's really not designed to do anything but put spy satellites up there. Banana Time, I firmly believe that they're going to need Ares 1. And you know what's funny? I was actually thinking about this, guys. This is something that's interesting to think about. So consider this. Antares, because of all the crap that's going on in the world, is pretty much not going to get made. The factory where Antares core stages are made is now a urban farm. Let me put it to you like that. Yeah. It got wrecked in the crossfire, from what I understand. So Northrop Grumman is not going to want to surrender their launch capability. But now they don't have a rocket. Their they actually have supply chain issues. Yeah. Will Vulcan not be able to launch Orion? It could, Yarg, if NASA paid Tory Bruno some cash. Tory could put that into space, no problem. Vulcan Heavy could do it, sure. And it's a man-rated pad. But consider this. I wouldn't be surprised if Northrop Grumman is reconsidering building Omega at this time. Now, why? What? Well, why would you even do that? Well, Antares is going down the tubes. Antares is going down. Antares, there's 2 more Antares flights now. As of last week, man, you ain't getting any more engines for that thing, and you ain't getting your core stages. So, I have a feeling that Omega might be making a comeback, but that's just me. That's wild speculation on my part. I have a feeling. I mean, Northrop Grumman clearly sees profitability in commercial resupply missions, so they're not going to want to surrender that capability, and they're already making the BOLE boosters, so the tooling for Omega never really went away. So all you got to do is just get an upper stage for that thing. And the launch pad, and they kind of demolished the launcher that they were using, but maybe they can buy another one. Maybe they can buy High Bay 2. Who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened. Yeah, Jax, you gotta find a way to get Cygnus into space. Cygnus is going to be needed for the gateway. Now, don't get me wrong. Northrop Grumman could put Cygnus on Vulcan, and that I'm sure. You know what? That'd be really good. Heck, you know what we could do? We get SLS Block 1B and we put a Cygnus in the cargo bay. Put a Cygnus in the cargo bay. Orion attached to it, plucks it off of the upper stage, Apollo style, right? And then you bring an extended life Cygnus out to the moon with the Orion capsule. Actually, that's a really good idea. Cygnus Gateway was never going to fly on Antares anyway. Well, Demo, I always thought that Cygnus Gateway was going to fly on Omega Heavy, right? With the Castor 1200, right? I mean, it's not a bad idea, dude. And I still, after all these years, and dude, it's just my inner spaceflight fan wanting Ares 1 to come back, okay? That's why I'm just write it off as speculation and just bear with me, all right? It makes sense. It makes sense to bring it to use Omega, and I think NASA's going to need to use that, especially if they want to build transfer vehicles in low Earth orbit. You're not going to launch an SLS into space just to get it to a transfer vehicle to Mars. That makes no sense. What is Cygnus's mass? Oh, I don't know. 6-7 tons or something, Sebi? Can they bring Omega back? It never left, Vin. They still make the boosters for it. The Omega program was rolled in after Northrop Grumman didn't get the national security launch contract. The Omega program was rolled into a different program at Northrop Grumman. The program that it was rolled into is the Booster Obsolescence and Life Extension Program. Basically, SLS boosters are using leftover shuttle booster segments, and they're eventually going to run out of those, just like they're going to run out of shuttle engines, and they're going to have to replace them with RS-25Es, right? SRBs are the same way, but they're not. Northrop Grumman is not going to make more steel casing SRBs. They're going to make composite SRBs that are Omega segments. Yeah, the Omega program never really went away. The boosters are still being made. They're just being made for SLS instead of being made for Omega. It's the same thing, though. Yeah, Kev. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just going to say it's wild speculation on my part, but that's not a bad... That's like, if you think about it, it's not a bad idea. But then again, I think Starship and SLS both using the VAB is also a thing that could happen. So, I don't know, man. Maybe just my inner spaceflight fan wants that to happen. You know, and I might be letting that cloud my judgment a little bit. I'm not going to disagree with you if you think that. It would be nice, though. It would be nice. All right. Anyway, let's... Let me just quickly check. Let me just quickly check Twitter. I mean, I'll see if there's any space news rolling around. In case you were wondering, yes, the Antonov 225 is still destroyed. It's not coming back. And that's unfortunate. Dmitry Rogozin is still going schizoid on Twitter to the point where I don't even want to cover it. Let's see, what else? Elon Musk is... working on SpaceX cybersecurity for Starlink and using the Russians trying to hack Starlink as a way to beta test his cybersecurity for Starlink. That's actually happening. Let's see. NASCAR race red flagged in Vegas due to snow. Oh, that's a sentence I never thought I'd hear. Haas, in F1 news, Haas dumped Nikita Mazepin because his dad has ties to high places in Russia. We'll just leave that. Just keep that. I'll send that news out. You guys, if you want to keep it. I don't really want to keep talking about that. There's this picture, which is really nice. Thought you would appreciate that one. Here, that's coming from Chris B over at NSF, and just please hold. Hands? What? No. Alright, can we just... Let's just... Yeah. Alright. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. I'm just gonna save that picture for later. Oh, okay. Twins, Basil, twins, Basil, twins. Yeah, send that link. Yeah, I'm gonna need that link back. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Now there can be an American team with an American driver on American circuits. Yeah, who? Who, though? Oh, Saturn V mobile service structure. That's cool. Alright, let me look through. Wind tunnel. Here, I'm gonna pop this open just in case something pops up that nobody wants to see. They're just basically set for the year. Okay. Ukrainians keep stealing Russian equipment. All right, that's a thing. Let's see. Did that tweet say X-Wings? Maybe. Tractor's tank. For what it's worth, guys, I think the vehicles are running out of fuel. And a tank is pretty useless if it has no gas in it. So, yeah, I think I don't think the Ukrainians are like walking up and be like, hey, we're stealing it, you know. I mean, that would be kind of funny, but I don't think that's what's going on, man. I'm just looking through anything else. Oh, this is a really interesting one. So check this out. Want to see what Elon tweeted last night? It's pretty interesting. See last. Okay, fuel bad. Tires, wheel bearings. Scary. You saw that too, huh? Yeah. There's a thread going around about how those vehicles have been sitting for a long time. All the trucks that they're using, all the Urals were just sitting doing nothing. They haven't been maintained, which is that's not cool. Like, don't leave somebody out in the freaking cold. Yeah, let's see. Pros focus on logistics. That, you know what? Hearts of Iron taught me that. No joke. Check this out. Look at this tweet. I liked it because I wanted to be able to easily find it. Look at that. That I'll be honest, man, I know the implications and I know why he's saying it, but that's something I never thought I'd heard that guy say. That's weird, dude. Yeah, Jam, I'm pretty sure that they know the risks involved. With that being said, it is really weird seeing John Deere tractors towing T-72 tanks around, man. That's the strangest thing I think I've seen this year thus far. Obviously, this would negatively affect Tesla, but sustainable energy solutions simply cannot react instantaneously to make up for Russian oil and gas export. That's, dude, what is going on? That's weird, man. That's like, okay. Okay. It's a circus, man. Considering it's $6 a gallon. Good thread about the anti-jamming stuff on Starlink. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking through, seeing if there's much else around. You know the poop hit the fan when Elon says that. Yeah. No. Yeah. You know how crazy it has to be for him to say that? Like, okay. We're at €2 a liter in most places. Check the link. All right. Yeah, it's expensive right now, dudes. I'm really happy I don't commute to work. SpaceX reprioritized to cyber defense and overcoming signal jamming. Okay. It also highlights just how long-term Elon thinks, though. Scary, he's an endgame guy. Yeah, always has been, dude. That's why I like him. He's not short-sighted. I mean, I don't like doing that either. You know, dude, I play the long game all the time, dude. I play the long game mostly because I'm interested in so many freaking things that it takes me forever to learn something new. But that's another story. But yeah, I like playing the long game like that. That's why I do the missions in Kerbal, because the payout is amazing. You know, why we do all the missions. Like I like delayed gratification, man, because it makes winning, like when you achieve your goal, it makes it so good, man. You know, I like being patient. I like teaching myself to be patient. And just this stuff takes time. But be like a freaking glacier. Glaciers can move mountains, but it just takes some time. That's cool. I like that. That's what I strive to be, dude. I commute an hour to and from my college. We're on a waiting list for an electric vehicle. Yeah. They can also melt. Hey, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, Mutter. Did you notice the quality of the symbols in the captures? Yeah, Ingenuber, they're having some problems, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. Dude, talking about it really bums me out. I've been talking about it too much, and it bummed me out on stream yesterday. I don't want nothing of it. Let's jump into Starship news. I don't think there's much else around. So let's jump into the NSF stuff. And see what we got. What are gas prices right now in the U.S.? Give me 1 second. So 1 gallon is 4.5 liters. Okay. 1 gallon's 4.5 liters. It's $3.73 here in the States. Divide that by 4.5. I'm paying 82 cents a liter of gas right now. Yeah. No, 1 gallon is 2.8 liters. Huh? $3.78? The hell? Wrong gallons. Okay, so let's do 378. So like I said, gas is 375 a gallon. So 375. Divided by, yeah, so it's about 1. We're at about 99 euros a liter over here. And that's high. That's high for the States. That gas prices are the highest they've been in years. You're paying $8 a gallon? Yeah. You're paying 2 euros per, yeah. Gas is half the price here, human. And guys, I think it's important to say that so in the cities, it's high. Like on the coasts of the United States where there's a lot of people, there's more demand, so the prices are higher than they are in the center of the country. Yeah, that's on the higher side of the national average. Yeah. I mean, like, once again, we produce our own oil. Of course the price is going to be cheaper. Like, 99 cents, yeah, 99 euro cents. You're paying what we paid for 20 years ago in the EU. What can I say? We're Americans. We like oil. It's what we do, dude. Like, what do you want? What do you want from us? It's what we do. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, someone say, "Oh, said anything about oil, chat? You cooking?" Do you have it in your cornfields in some parts of the U.S.? Yeah, sure. Huh? Oil? Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Oil? I want some oil. Yeah, I mean, fellas, in 2018, 2019, guys, I was paying like 50 cents a liter for gas. 50, 60 cents, somewhere around there. Yeah, it was half the price of what it is now. Dude, drove all over the place. It was great. Driving, dude, the gas price was so low that driving was almost cheaper than flying, which is ridiculous. Yeah, in 2018, 2019, the prices went, and dude, it was lower than gas prices from the 90s, even adjusted for inflation, which is cool. That's really neat. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand the climate impact and all that other things, but it's nice being able to just get in a car and have some fun, you know? This reminded me, our oil refineries and pipelines and satisfactory. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Never mention oil to America, huh? Andrew, you don't got any over there, do you? You sure? Yep. You're not holding out on me, are you? I wish we had oil. Yeah. I hear they might have oil. Oh, demo. Dude, don't, bro. Don't. I don't need it. Dude, I've been, don't. Please don't. So, like, game power to the people is legit, man. You really should check it out. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, Contra, you guys gotta remember, you know, everybody right now sees the situation that's going on with gas prices. Gas prices going through the loop because of the uncertainty of the market, because of what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine, right? So that uncertainty is driving the price through the roof. Compound that with inflation, and it's making it worse. Now, I know our people are already typing in their hot takes into chat. Oh, it's this guy's fault. No, it's this guy's fault. No, it's this guy's. Stop. Stop. You guys got to remember, that's not the point I'm trying to make. You got to remember that it's not just oil, it's energy. Energy is the key here. Like, energy is that's the key. It's strategic energy reserves, not necessarily oil. If we could find a way to store electricity as efficient as we could store oil, then we would just do that. You know what I mean? It's just about having the energy, because energy is what gets work done. It doesn't matter if you're, powering a city or, moving tanks around. Energy is what gets work done. Whoever has the most energy is the key. That's why Americans are obsessed with freaking oil, because it's what we like doing. Because we want all the oil. So, even Elon's saying right now that we can't make the transition to sustainable power that quickly. But if we do, and we wean ourselves off oil over time, then we're not beholden to it, so something like this doesn't happen. Now, simultaneously, at the same time, oil is very, very inexpensive to store. It's very inexpensive to store. You could just store bajillions of it. It's way cheaper than storing batteries with electricity in it, Who's anything about oil, man? You cooking? Oil tycoon. Nice. Y'all thinking that's coffee in the mug? Yeah, you guys think this is coffee. No, that's oil, man. What are you thinking, chat? 30 weight? 40 weight? 50 weight? Tesla for the win. Yeah, no, and the reason why I even bring this up is because I'm weeding it back into what I was talking about. What I was talking about with, Tesla and Elon with the long-term goals. This is where I was going with it. Elon sees the long-term goals. He knows that it's not just about oil. It's about energy. It's energy. And those tweets kind of vindicate that kind of way of thinking. What's the size of that mug? 1 liter? Sorry, I have to take my kilofeet units. It's a half liter. Yeah, half liter. This is a half liter thing. It's 16 ounces. 16 ounce cup. It's a big cup. How was your day today, Liam? I'm doing all right. I was wondering, does NASA still have funding for one astronaut interstellar flight in space to another planet, like if they went to Mars or Jupiter? Liam, the funding situation for NASA is just fine right now. However, it's a little more complicated. You don't just decide you go to Jupiter, right? I mean, that'd be kind of cool, right? But that's not really how that works. Think of it like playing levels in a video game. The moon is level 1. Mars is level 2. Venus is level 3, right? And then you get to the asteroid belt. That's level 4. You don't just skip to level 7, all right? We gotta do it in steps. That's all. So the funding is fine for going back to the moon right now because we've got to complete step 1. But yeah, NASA's doing just fine. Where is Minmus? Wrong solar system. Good afternoon. Did you see a piece of China space junk fell onto the far side of the moon on Thursday, apparently from a rocket that launched in 2014? It's a Long March 3C upper stage, Brian. And that Long March 3C was the stage that delivered the Chinese rover that landed on the far side of the moon. Yeah. There are decaying orbits around the moon. It's not like Kerbal where something just stays there indefinitely and it's fine. There is decaying orbit, and that happens because of non-uniform gravitational pull around the moon. The moon's center of mass and its center of not center of mass, the geometric center of the moon is not necessarily where its center of mass is. It's slightly offset. And that causes a perturbing force on vehicles that are orbiting around it. Because gravity is a little bit stronger on one side than it is on the other, that can cause your orbit to decay and you'll eventually deorbit. That's called an orbital perturbing force. Okay? This orbital perturbing force around the moon, because of non-uniform gravitational pull, is called precession, lunar precession. Also, the moon does have an atmosphere, I mean, you're not going to take your helmet off up there, Rocket Guy, but yeah. Mm-hmm. My guy, how you doing? How's work, dude? Wait, does that mean the Earth is in a subtle orbital decay? Subtle orbital decay around what? Around the sun? No. No. Is it actually bad when something crashes into the moon? No. Over in the UK, all the tabloids are running stories of out-of-control SpaceX rocket will damage the moon. Yeah. 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 Jack, you know how I always get annoyed when, you know, people that know nothing about space try to weigh in on things about space to get your attention? And they do that by telling you a sensationalized thing? Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you got click-jebaited. I'm dying, but in a good way. Just one more week of hell. There you go, man. There you go. Power through it. Yeah, there you go, kid. Yep, yep. I mean, I get clickbaiting and stuff, guys. Like, I understand people got to put food on the table, etc., etc. But it's a theory that I've had about space for the longest time. Space doesn't need to be hyped up. It's just cool. It's just cool to begin with. Like, I think it's just neat to begin with. It's pretty neat. Who wants to go on a nature walk around the moon? I was rolling on the moon one day. I mean, I don't hate it, Sebi. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. You think that's pretty neat. Ah, Titan 4. It is indeed pretty neat. Yep, yep. Maybe, Kev. YouTube is full of clickbait about SpaceX and spaceflight in general. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree, Enco. Absolutely. Strolling on the moon one day. Gene Cernan, yeah, he did say that. Oh, dude, I just thought of that video with Gene Cernan in it.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh, it hurts. I'm sorry, Dad. Oh, it hurts so bad. I hate that. Dude, I hate that video, but it's very poignant. Rock Guy, 66 months. Another one. YouTube is full of clickbait. You could stop. Yeah, the sentence could basically stop there. Ian, I hate that video, but I simultaneously force myself to watch it every once in a while. It's like a freaking railroad spike in my mind. You know, like, you gotta, it's one of those keep it in perspective, man. Get Jack Schmidt on the stream. Jack Schmidt's a cool dude, Kev. I have never met him. I've never met the man. Heard he's a really nice guy, though. If you guys don't know, there's this video of Gene Cernan, and he walks up to the Apollo 17 capsule that he went to the moon in. And he just kind of sits there and looks at it. And he's like, man, it was so long ago. Sometimes I wonder, was it real or not? And then he just sits there and looks at it for a second. And he goes, and he just walks away. And it's dude, it's the worst feeling ever. It's the worst feeling ever. Oh, it's like, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We got to go back. Please don't. No. Are you winning, son? No. No. Go away. It hurts. Oh, it's just the worst feeling ever. I hate it so much, but I won't. I gotta force myself. I force myself to watch that video from time to time. Demo, first time seriously playing Kerbal in a while. Built a swing wing cargo plane. Minimum stall speed 50 meters a second. Cruise 1,250 meters a second. Well, it's a big, wide flight regime. Can land pretty much anywhere because of the slow stall speed. Oh, very nice there, bud. That's cool. Yeah, that looks nice. And God willing, we shall return. It's time he met his promise. Kev, I still will say this. The first Artemis mission, it should land right at Apollo 17's landing site. I'm dead serious about that. the scientific yield from that would be rather minimal. But sometime I know that spaceflight's all about application and engineering and maximum science yield, especially when it comes to NASA missions. But the message that sends is very poignant. That's a we should do that. The first Artemis mission should land they should land next to, they should go to Taurus Littrow, and they should land next to the 17's lander. I'm dead serious about that. Hey, Ozzy, what's going on? Show the video. I can't, dude. It hurts. It hurts too much. That's right, Pigzig. I agree, Kev. We should do it. The science would be really good, man. Dude, like, you could see, you basically have a scientific control or scientific experiment here to see in the long term how equipment fares on the moon. The moon rovers, all the scientific equipment. Can you imagine being able to like grab that and bring it back and examine it here? Or better yet, just send the lab inside of a starship and just examine it there, There you go, Airborne. That's cool. What would the message be? We're back. Gene Cernan, when they left Taurus Littrow in December 1972, said, "We will return." That's what Kev meant when he said we should honor his promise. Because we should. Should have done it years ago. It's too bad the surviving moon mission crewmen are too old to go back. Dude. I think they'd do it. I don't think they would give a frick. I've talked to Charlie Duke. He's still sharp as a tack. He'd do it. I'm pretty damn sure he would. I know Buzz Aldrin would. He'd be like, yeah, I'm doing that. They'd be like, but you're 85. I don't care. Yeah, let's go. Okay, let me go get my keys. Buzz would absolutely go. And even Neil Armstrong, up until like the day he passed, was like, yeah, if I'm needed to command another moon mission, I'll do it. Absolutely, if they need me. Like, straight Master Chief stuff. Wake me when you need me. I just want Gene Kranz to be on console in some way. Yeah, Ian, we need to... I think that's very important. The symbolism is important. We got to pass the torch. And that means getting all the Apollo guys back. Getting the band back together one last time. You pass the torch. I was wondering, have you heard anything on how NASA will counter the 10-minute IP orbital weapon China, the Russians, and Japan have in their weapons R&D package? EJ, that was on YouTube. That person is lying to you, Liam. That's not a thing. Don't believe everything on YouTube, dude. There's so much nonsense out there. Buzz's only condition, I get out first. Yep. Have to ask, discuss the broomstick comment. Nikita, I'm very much getting... I'm very much getting sick of covering Roscosmos news, and it pains me to see it, but Dimitri's gone off... Dude, I'm not going to say he's gone off the reservation. Dude, he probably believes a lot in what he's doing, but, dude... I can't help but just think of it from our perspective, dude. If somebody at NASA was going to put, like, Space Force... If somebody that worked at NASA was going to put, like, Space Force before NASA, I'd be a little pissed. I'm not going to lie to you. Even if that was happening over here. If somebody at NASA was like, yeah, NASA needs to go and fight people and we need to... I would be mad. That would be very annoying. It really... Because, like, dude, you're screwing up the space program. You know? Like, I would be very pissed off. Like... And it doesn't matter if it's my space program or anybody else's space program, dude. Like, space program's about being above that, rising above it. You're right, because we go up there, right? And I just don't like that. He's, like, dude, you can have your own political beliefs as, you know, as much as I disagree. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a dick, right? Like, as much as I disagree, I just don't like that he's bringing it into a space program. He's you know, he's like, oh, the U.S. is going to ruin the program. And then, like, in the same tweet, he's like, oh, yeah, we got to, you know, take over other countries. Because, like, dude, it's like, dude, what are you doing? No one at NASA would ever say that stuff. Ever. Like, whether they disagreed or agreed with it. Like, dude, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much. I don't know. I don't know. Like, Russia's different, man. It's just, stuff's different over there. It's just different than it is here. So maybe me trying to look at, like, what he's doing through, like, the lens of, like, NASA in the military, because those are very detached things over here. Maybe they're not so detached over there. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't really... I don't really like covering anything about what he says, dude. Just... He's possibly pressured to say such things. I don't know, Ponsister, dude. Like, gotta understand, guys, that there's gonna be people with different perspectives. There's gonna be people that you disagree with. Like, that's just gonna happen, man. Like, people disagree with me about how we should operate the space program, and that's fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. You know, like, it's just, like, really disheartening, I guess, to see, like, some of the rants that he goes on Twitter are just wild, dude. I mean, like I said, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe someone's forcing him to say it. Maybe he's saying it himself. I don't know, man. Space programs are all about having class, though. It's all about being classy. You don't do that. Like, nobody does that. Like, the Europeans don't do that. We don't do that. Not even the Chinese do stuff like that. You know, you gotta keep your cool with spaceflight. And it was nice because that's what he did. Like, the first things, like, after this whole thing went down, the first kind of couple of things that he said was like, hey, don't sanction us. You've already sanctioned us. We don't want to kill the international program. Everybody chill. And then he just went off the freaking wagon, dude. Like, I'm like, all right. But he did, dude. You know, even I don't know why I'm giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, but even then, the reason why he got all pissed off is because they sanctioned Roscosmos. That's why he got mad. You're screwing with his revenue streams. So, like, I can understand it. I still disagree. Like, I understand what's going on, but I still disagree. I don't think anyone's forcing him based on his past behaviors. Yes, Wish, it's just... I don't know, man. Like, it's... I always gave the guy the benefit of the doubt because, like, I'm positive. We know for a fact that stuff that he said in the past gets taken out of context all the freaking time. So I was always willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. But... And, you know, like, to an extent, I still am. There's a lot... Dude, Russian is a different language. It stems from a totally different base language. You know, like, English is Germanic, all right? Russian comes from Greek. It's totally different. They're totally different ways of communicating. You know, so stuff doesn't translate. Stuff gets lost in translation all the time. All the time. Like, without fail. We saw it when Dmitry Rogozin said traditionally Russia has launched more things to Venus than the United States. And everyone said, oh, the head of Roscosmos says Russia owns Venus. Like, that was bullcrap. That's not what he said. You know? Good thing we won't get more Twitter updates from him. Nah, they ain't going nowhere, Boxy. Dude, he's hooked up. He ain't going nowhere. My favorite Apollo quote, as I stand here, in the wonders of the unknown at Hadley, I sort of realize there's a fundamental truth to our nature. Man must explore. And this is exploration at its greatest. Yeah, Dave Scott. Yeah, man. Take a breath. So, I don't know, like, the broomstick thing, like, dude, I don't know what he meant. That one, I get it. He's like, what are you going to launch on, a broomstick? Boeing Starliner doesn't even work. It's like, you know we have other vehicles, right? Like, When he accused a U.S. astronaut for drilling a hole in the Russian segment, was that lost in translation too? Yeah, Balk, that whole thing stinks, dude. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, no, I don't know what that is. That was, yeah, no, that was like, what? Why would you say that? Like, I mean, Balk, like, the whole thing is, dude, I would never, up until pretty recently, and I still am hesitant to do it now, I still won't talk bad about the Russian space program. Like, even despite all this, the ISS operations are still going on as planned. So like I said, it's the first thing I said after this whole thing went down. Slow your roll. Don't overreact. You can't overreact with the space program because Dmitry, as fricked up as all of his statements have been, he's right. Slow your roll. You don't want to be... Nobody wants to get rid of the ISS. Right? And I think that's... Even now, after all the poop that's hit the fan, I still think that's the case. I'm under the impression that they're really concerned about looking strong and want to trade blow for blow, no matter how petty it seems. Yeah, floating. I don't know enough about Russian culture to really know if that's a thing or not. It might be, dude. Can somebody comment? Like, I don't know. Maybe saving face is more important. I don't know. Yesterday morning, I intervened in an Italian stream about the situation, and I tell people how bad the loss of the Antonov and potentially people did not care at all. I tried to explain a bit of the history, but the majority of them didn't care. It was just sad. But you have 20 minutes, you don't care about spaceflight. Yeah, especially you can't force people to like what you like, dude. I just show people how cool it is. Like, look at that. That's freaking cool. I don't ever force it on anybody. Because then people will be like, get out of my face, please. They'll be like, vaffanculo. Ciao. No, not ciao. Arrivederci. To be honest, I think he always had a disdain for SpaceX because he knew they were going to eat his lunch. Yeah. Yeah, Squidman, I think that's important to take into account, you know. Well, not really. Europeans aren't allowed to perform experiments in the Russian modules anymore. Yeah, Sebi, and maybe that's what pissed him off. Like, you know, like, I'm not saying that I agree with him by any means, but can you understand, like, how that would piss him off? Like, what do you mean you're just not going to do experiments here anymore? Why, you're going to just do experiments 20 feet away? Like that I can understand. Like, that's stupid. That's figurative. And you know what suffers? The science suffers from that, no matter how you spin it. You know, once again, I'm not sticking up for him by any means. But it's important to understand context and position, you know. Can NASA build a curved space engine for new prototype Shuttle 4 extended flight if they were going to land on planet, do tests, then come home, then do a partial debrief? Liam, you're gonna have to take 5 and rethink that question. I'm not sure what you're trying to ask me. NASA could build whatever. It's just the engines take time, dude. It takes time. It's hard to do. NASA has a lot of homework to do. They have a lot of homework, a lot of testing. It's like, to build a rocket engine is like going through elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college. It's that difficult, and probably even more. So they could do whatever. It's just going to take time. Then he should say that. I mean, Hellfish, he tried to. That's why, dude, when everybody said Dmitry Rogozin's going to crash the ISS into the United States, that's what he was trying to say. And everybody gave him crap. Everybody was like, "You're a piece of crap. Screw you." Blah 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 blah. That's what he was trying to say. Like, why would you want to screw up the science on the ISS? You've already sanctioned the trash out of us to the point where we're not even competitive in spaceflight. You're just gonna sanction us into bankruptcy? Thanks for that. We've been your partner for how long? You guys flew on Soyuz for this long? What the hell? Like, I understand that position. I still don't agree with him, but I understand that position makes sense to me. And that's what he was trying to say. And then they sanctioned the trash out of him anyway. So, like, I guess he has a right to be pissed off. Like, I'd be a little mad in that position. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, oh, great, good. All my revenue streams that I've been building for the last 15 years just went out down the tubes in a week. Great. Like, every single one of them. there's nothing. There's going to be nothing left. I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. He meant, could NASA set up the shuttle with interplanetary engine and visit the moon or something? Oh, nah, the shuttle's really not designed to do that. That would be like trying to fly a 747 into space. You really can't do that. It's not designed for it. It'd be better to build something that's designed to go to the moon and use that. Maybe have the shuttle deliver it and then go. Considering what he said was a lie, he deserved it. Just a reminder that a lot of Russian segments were paid for by the U.S. I don't know, Balk. Yeah, dude, I'm not going to say he's perfect, but I always, like, and don't construe me like understanding his position with agreeing. I don't agree with anything that's going on right now. It's a bad idea. This is not going to end well. A lot of people are going to die, and that sucks. But I understand his position. Like, you should, like, give the guy the due diligence, at least that. Like, try to understand where he's coming from. Like, that's what I always try to do. And I do that challenging my own thinking. That's just how I work. I challenge my own thinking. I have a really good idea. I try to disprove my idea. And I always try to look at it from another perspective. It just gives you a more well-rounded view. Can we talk about the return of the Borg? Well, if Q shows up in 2022, that means we got a big problem. No, Q from TNG, not that. Thoughts if you're up for talking about it. This is NASA Watch. All right, let's see. Do we really think his words are free and honest? Well, Bond, that's why I bother listening to him. I don't listen to him, but, like, that's what I mean, dude. Elon was talking about, like, with Starlink, the ability to move information around, etc., etc. Like, I agree with him on that. If everybody can say something, the bad ideas should just naturally weed themselves out. If I look at what he's saying from a apolitical, honest point of view, and they still don't make sense, well, that's on him. That's not my problem. But I won't hesitate to go and look at it. All right, what's this video about? This is coming from Novosti.
Прощай, уже встает заря, и день приходит в города. Прощай, под белым небом января мы расстаемся навсегда. Прощай, ничего не обещай, и ничего не говори, а чтоб понять мою печаль, пустой
Remember what I just said about, hey, you allow information to be freely, hey, there you go. That information's out in the air, and I don't need to say anything. That's what I mean about looking at things from different perspectives. You entertain it. Challenge your own worldview and show it. And look at that. You see how stupid that looked? Call it Tom, because that's petty. There you go. Also, where are they taking our Zarya module, Ian? Where are you taking that? Where are you just going to steal our module now? All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Guys, look. I don't think that Anton, that Skap or Peter up there, the two cosmonauts that are up there, are going to abandon Mark on the space station. You know why? Because they know better tthan that. Even if Roscosmos told them to do it, they still wouldn't do that. It's you don't. Okay, the right now I know you're gonna say why. Well, why wouldn't they do that? Well, because if you go to the ISS and you look out the cupola window, do you see any borders? Can't see borders marked on a map. Maybe North Korea and South Korea, but that's another story. You don't. They're not gonna do that. That's why would you do that? That's like you can't be petty like that up in space. It doesn't work that way. This was hastily edited together by somebody that was told to edit this. Like it's pretty obvious that that's just freaking propaganda. And like the other thing to take into account is that, dude, we're not above stuff like that either. Like, everyone's like, oh, the Russians have a lot of propaganda. The Russians have a lot of, yes, so do we. And that's what I mean. Look, like the Investigator General report, guys, was saying the other day, that was bullcrap. It was bullcrap. The guy straight up said, SLS is too expensive because I think it's too expensive. Based off of nothing. No facts. Nothing. He just said, we think it's too expensive. That's ridiculous. This kind of crap is not all over the place, and it's important to understand that. Yeah, demo. They wouldn't leave Mark up there. This is just some punk freaking doing that crap. I know that Anton and Peter are better than that. There's a difference, though. Of course, Rocket Guy. Yeah, of course. I'm trying to scroll through. The text at the end of the video says this video is based on unrealistic events. See, even then, you're trying to make it seem like, spaceflight, it works this certain way. Like, no. Cooler heads will prevail on the ISS because it has to. Yeah, Mark trained with Anton and Peter for years. Like what you guys are saying. Demo, you're right. Like, they're not going to do that. I know they're not going to do that, despite what Dimitri's saying, despite all the bull crap, all the static, all that nonsense. It doesn't work that way. Not in space. Yes, but it's obvious that no American or European astronaut flying Soyuz for a long time. Yep. I was not surprised the way they act. Chem, it sucks. It sucks, dude. But what I'm trying to say is take that at face value. I know that just because Dimitri's a little noodle, does that mean that everyone at Roscosmos is? Hell no. Not a chance. Space doesn't work like that. The engineering is king, not what you say. And I know that they're smart enough to understand that. Heck, Anton Shkeplerov is from Ukraine. So, take that for what it's worth. Yeah, Laserman, probably. Yep. That's how I know, dudes. Guys, cooler heads will prevail every time in space. We're not going to do something stupid like that. That's why I hated For All Mankind Season 2 so much. I'm like, dude, it wouldn't even get to this point. No one's this stupid. You know what you say? Well, don't forget. Trust me. They might be smart, but they won't go against their boss. Yeah, of course, Kem. It's true. And it's sad. It sucks. Those people are basically between a rock and a hard place. They can't say anything. You can't say crap. Just keep doing your work. Don't say nothing. We're going backwards, man. We're going freaking backwards. We can always use the trampoline and the broomstick. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna, Kem, even now, I don't agree, but I have to be clear and present the information clearly. We know it's wrong. Like, we know that we all disagree. Like, everybody knows that, Everyone knows that, dude. But I don't want to curtail information, dude. And I don't think that's right. I really don't think that's right. That's not how we roll. That's not how we roll in the Western world. We don't do that. At least we shouldn't. Information should allow to be freely exchanged. The bad ideas will weed themselves out.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Can't ignore the reality of things at Mach 22. Well said. In the words of Joe Dirt, just gotta keep on keeping on. Yep. I would be a little surprised if Elon doesn't paint a broom on a couple of Falcons. Yeah, I know. That just reminded me of them taping over the flags on that Soyuz. Like, really? Like, I'm not... Oh, great, you taped over the American flag. Good. Alright. People in this country burn that flag all the time. Like, is that meant to piss me off? All that's gonna do is just make the tensions with the space program worse. Thanks for that one. Alright. Okay, if that's what you gotta do. Like, I'm not mad that my country's flag got taped over. But the pettiness is like, come on, man. You're better than this. Really? Like, really? And Kem, I think that's what, with U.S. tape, dude. The irony is unfounded, man. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, dude, what the heck happened to you? Like, what the frick, man? What are you doing? Stop it! But yeah, once again, I'm not, I've said, like, I don't want to cover Russian news, I don't want to cover this. I'm not going to cover it as much as I usually would, but it's important to understand context in this equation, Especially right now. You have to. And I hate that I have to put you guys through this, but it's important to understand the space program. And that's how I work, dude. I'll listen to people that hate me. I'll listen to what they have to say. But I'm not going to let it affect I'm not going to say that I'm not going to let it affect my judgment. You know what I mean? It's just something that you factor in. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. You just factor it in. It's just data. That's all. You just analyze the data and go from there. It's kind of cold in that regard, especially when it comes to analyzing, like, space and, like 20 years of cooperation could go down the tube. That's hard. That's tough. It's tough to see. It really, it hurts, man. It hurts. But, you don't think it hurts people that work at Roscosmos too? Yeah, absolutely, dude. Dmitry might be a little crazy, but you could tell he's pissed off about it. It hurts him in some way, shape, or form. He just has a twisted way of freaking saying it, I hate you because you let Jeb die. Fair criticism. K3, that one hurt a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Fair criticism, but also, ow, please. Stop. That's cool, Pins. Good for him. No, Yarg, no. K3's talking about the mission mode save. That wasn't my fault, man. The stupid landing gear did something that I've never seen before. It did something random. It's not my fault, man. It worked plenty of times before, but then again, it probably shouldn't have landed Dart in a field. It probably should have gotten the re-entry trajectory right. Right, want to rename him to Kenny? Kenny Kerman. Oh my god, you killed him! You dirty alpaca cheater! Yeah, Bon. It's just hard. It's hard to see the space program get affected by this nonsense. But hey, it is what it is. I like Elon even more now with all the Starlink supply. Dude, Kem, he's a G, dude. Guy keeps it real. I really like that. He doesn't let anybody tell him what to do. That's cool, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, that it's worked against him in the past, but hey, everyone has a character flaw in some way, shape, or form. I mean, I have a character flaw for ranting for long periods of time about topics on the stream. Funny how that works, Dart, fault wasn't yours? Yeah. Yeah, I knew her. Yeah. Russia, USA, UAE crews participating in Series 21 experience. Well, that's good, PCAS. That's good, man. I'm glad cooler heads are prevailing even through all the nonsense. Yeah, Jen, the plane needs to be completely rebuilt. The 225's junk. They're not using that airframe anymore. You're going to have to part it out and build another one. Like I said, the 225's gone. It ain't coming back. At least that one isn't coming back. They'll probably do it again. It's just easy PR for Elon. Yeah, Bauxy, you know, it's funny. Like, yeah, Elon just waits until Dimitri says something dumb and then makes him look even stupider. Like, just never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake, I guess, bro. Like, Sun Tzu, man, he said that a long time ago. It's pretty right. The engines three engines looked okay. Yeah, the tail though. Tail's still up in the air, man. Which explains why that satellite picture is the way that it is, dude. Can you believe that? The front of the plane fell off and the tail's still sitting there. That's how overbuilt that plane is. She's a beast. What would be a good name for the new 225 to honor the dream, but not the same name? Dream Theater. I could probably think of a better name, but that name's pretty good. Is it possible for Soyuz to deorbit back to the U.S. instead of Russia? Sure, Katra. Yeah. There's a second airframe, Orange Gamer, and everybody's kind of saying, even Antonov, the company that owns the 225, well, half of it, we'll call it a 112.5 at this point. They said they'll rebuild it with a second airframe, or at least speculated about doing it, which is cool. I hope they do. That'd be really neat. The Phoenix. That would be a good name. That would be a really good name. Now, Phoenix, everything is named Phoenix, but that one will have rise from the flames. That would be a good idea. Phoenix would be a great name. If we don't lose that frame too. Yeah, you know what, Kem? Like, dude, at the end of the day, it's just a plane. It's just a plane. You know, they can always extend a 124, and they have all the blueprints, and they have the technical expertise. So, like, I don't think they would have built another 225 because the demand isn't there. The 225 didn't fly very much, even when it was in one piece. It only flew when they needed it to fly. It was enough to keep the plane running, but it wasn't enough to build another one, you know? But now the 225 could do things that no other plane could, right? So there is financial incentive to go and rebuild it now that you don't have one, and that the demand for moving heavy stuff around quickly is still there. The demand didn't go anywhere. So, I think that even if that second airframe gets shot up, I think they'd still rebuild it, and that would be really cool. That'd be really cool to see. It's absolutely not just a plane. That's like saying Buran was just a spacecraft. Yeah, but Boxy, it's important to keep this stuff in perspective, man. It's just an airplane. People are dying, dude. I don't. Humans are our most precious commodity. We're our most precious commodity. You can't replace humans. You can't replace people. I mean, you can, but it takes a long time. It takes a long time and a lot of effort. I mean, but then again, so does the airplane. But yeah, Kem, I think that's why they need another 225. That's a perfect financial incentive. Because, you know, I'm convinced at the start of this that they were brass, but now I'm pretty sure they're tungsten. That guy just does not give a frick. That guy, dude, he doesn't give a frick. He's like, nah, hell no. No. I mean, I'm like, damn, dude. Yo. Whoa. Higher demand may come when it's time to rebuild the Ukraine. That's a good way to look at it. Ozzy, like C-17 versus C-5. Dude, the 225 is bigger than a C-5. It's bigger. Oh, and Antonov 124 is the same as a C-5. They have, it's convergent design. We talked about this yesterday, which was actually pretty cool. It's convergent design, so they were both designed to fulfill the same role, just like Buran and the space shuttle are designed to do similar things, right? The 225, the C5 is the 124's counterpart. The 225's in a league of its own, dude. No one's ever built a plane that big. And it's cool, man. It's cool. Check your last link. Love the mic push today. Guys, dude, Foz, it's the most gangster stuff I've ever seen, dude. What a bad, like, I'm pretty sure he has a wallet that says bad mother fricker on it, you know? National emergency. What is this, demo? Just in case you need this in these trying times. Oh, yeah, the abort contingency. Interesting. Not for release to media. Release to media. Demo, what is this? Was this... I mean, it says NASA Watch on it, you know? How's the size compared to the Spruce Goose? It's bigger, Katra, yeah. Dude, that plane is, well, was. You know what? The dream is alive in our hearts, all right? They said that about the shuttle. Dream is alive in our hearts. So I'm just going to, for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to say the plane still exists. It still exists. It's just in pieces, okay? Some of those pieces are burned. Other pieces are in the hangar next to it. That's all I'm saying, all right? So for the context of this, I will say, you know, it's in one piece. Like, that plane is huge. It's a big freaking plane. Let me find the, let me show you. There's a really good size comparison on Wikipedia, believe it or not. Somebody's gonna find it before I can link it. Where's that damn size comparison? Did you get it, Foz? Yeah, here you go. I mean, she's a beast, dude. It's a big plane. Here's a size comparison of some of the biggest aircraft that fly. So there's the Spruce Goose, so the H-4 Hercules, right? A380, 747-8, 225, Stratolauncher's in there too. I mean, Stratolauncher has the biggest wingspan, but the 225 is the biggest plane. The 225 is bigger than the Stratolauncher, and we saw the Stratolauncher fly around the other day. The 225 would be the green right there. It's freaking huge. It's a monster of a freaking plane. A C5? Yeah, the C5 would be about a 747. It's about the same size. Somewhere between A380 and 747. The C5s are big. They're a big plane. But yeah, look at that, man. It's a freaking monster. I mean, look at the wingspan. 88 meters. So that's like that's almost a 300-foot wingspan. That's ridiculous. That's freaking huge. Stratolauncher now holds the record for the heaviest aircraft. Yep. That's the biggest one. Stratolauncher's the biggest one. I'm glad it flies. Was there info on why Antonov did not fly the plane out of there before all this started? I don't think... Dude, I don't think Ukraine was ready. I don't think they expected it, dude. I really don't. Is there only one 225? Well, there's zero now. there's zero now. Yeah, I don't think I think, yeah, people saying it's under maintenance. I don't know for sure, Geek, but, I mean, if you look at the pictures, it definitely looks like it was packaged up, you know? Like, even the pictures of it burnt out on the runway is, like, you can tell that this thing was like, it wasn't in pieces. They were doing some kind of maintenance to it. I actually showed the last time it was flying on Space News a couple of weeks before this. Yeah. The landing gear was broken. Yeah. We showed it flying. It it was on approach to Hostomel. It was coming in for maintenance. Yeah. We saw it the last time it flew, which is cool. I mean, just on stream, and it was a replay. It wasn't live. Landing gear was broken. My understanding was it was down for 3 months of inspection and maintenance. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, dude, it's a freaking monster of an aircraft. There was a picture that I was showing. Like, here, take a look. Look at it compared to the people. The thing's freaking huge. That plane is like 3 stories tall. Yeah, Pythos, it looks like they had it in a maintenance configuration from what I can tell. Like, if you go back and look at it, like I said, you gotta look at the burnt out pictures, which really sucks. Like, check it out, dude. See, they have the covers on the engines. They have the FOD covers on the engines. So yeah, it was definitely down for maintenance or something. And you could see there's some kind of support equipment over there. I don't know if that was there before or after the fact. Yeah. The tail, though, built strong. Tail's still good. Yeah. What even happened to cause that? Fire. That's fire damage 2020 all day. Yeah, that's what fire does to planes, dude. It melts them. Planes are made out of aluminum, dude. Fire, oh yeah, terrible. Very bad for a plane. It'll turn a plane into butter. It'll literally melt it. It'll melt it to the ground. That's what, I mean, yeah, that's what it does, dude. If you listen to Russian media, they claim the Ukrainians hit it with the artillery, right? Buck, okay, look. All right. Maybe. I'm going to guess that nobody intentionally targeted the plane, okay? Russian media says the Ukrainians did it. Ukraine says the Russians did it. What is more likely the case is that it's something right in the center. And once again, dude, that's war. Like, that's like saying, oh, who shot this building? Like, I don't know. Like, it's a war zone. What do you do? Like, dude, collateral damage is all over the place. That's just war. Like, so we know that airport where Antonov is based was fought over multiple times. And we do know from the satellite pictures that the plane was still relatively intact. Now, how can I tell? Because after the first couple of days of the invasion, we saw that satellite picture, okay? We saw the satellite picture of the tail. The tail was still intact, not crooked like it is in that picture, sitting inside of the hangar, okay? It was intact because it was perfectly square. And if you look at the pictures of the thing destroyed, which is just, it's hard to look at. It really sucks. If you look at the pictures, the tail is bent. The tail is all bent out of shape. It's not perfectly square anymore. The whole thing seems to have tilted to the side with the engines on it because, well, aluminum melts. It turns into butter when you introduce heat to it, right? So you see that the tail is kind of all tilted to one side. That kind of tilt would have showed in that satellite picture. So I still think what happened, so the Russians took the airport, right? And they hit the fuel trucks around Hostomel so nobody could fly, right? You don't want the enemy flying over the airbase that you're trying to take, obviously, right? And I do absolutely believe that they did hit a fuel truck. There's jet fuel residue all over the ground, like everywhere, all over the ground. And it had been there for a while. Like, you can tell from the satellite pictures and you can tell from the pictures up close that the concrete was scorched with jet fuel. It leaves a really black, charry residue, similar to Falcon 9, right? Because it's almost the same stuff. It literally, yeah, it's pretty much the same stuff. So I think the plane was still relatively undamaged. And then I think, you know, the Russians definitely used it as a place to stage troops. Because we saw the footage, that quick footage of the hangar from a long way away, that some guy took. I don't know. And that was the footage that said like 25th or 26th of February. And that footage found its way onto Twitter, and the plane, there's like a bunch of troop trucks all over the place. There's a bunch of Urals and Kamaz all over the place. So I'm pretty sure they were using that area to stage troops. Now, why? Why would you? Okay, why right next to the hangar? Well, look. Why the hell would you put anything of importance out here on the tarmac? Hostomel is a big airport. That's a huge airport with a 15,000-foot runway, man. It's actually, I think it's longer. Why would you put anything here? I would put my stuff right between the hangars because it's covered. Something's going to hit the hangar before it hits your stuff. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Kaz, I think it got caught in the crossfire, dude. It's war. Stuff gets broken. I don't think anybody intentionally did it. I really don't. Dude, pointing fingers in a war like this is probably not a good idea. I think pointing fingers in general is stupid. It's a freaking war. Stuff gets broken. It happens. Like, yeah, it's collateral. I think it's collateral. I don't think anybody intentionally shelled it. And once, you know, like the Ukrainians are saying the Russians did it, the Russians say the Ukrainians did it. It's probably more likely something in the center. Like, we know the Russians were staging troops there, and we know the Ukrainians would want to not have that happen. So, I mean, they may have, but I don't think they would intentionally destroy their own freaking airplane. I don't think, like, nobody would attack that spot thinking, oh yeah, let's destroy the 225. No, you'd want to shoot at the things that are trying to shoot at you. It's collateral damage, man. It happens. It friggin' happens, dude. It sucks. It's terrible. I mean, and that comes back to PKs. That comes back to the other thing, dude. I don't like seeing people get hurt. I don't like seeing people die, and I have a very that affects me personally pretty hard. I really don't like it, and that's why, you know, like, we love the 225, and it sucks that it's broken, but dude, it's just a plane. It's just some aluminum. It's like my trucks. I love my trucks. To the point where it's almost unhealthy. I know it's just steel. It's just some steel and some rubber. I get it. Doesn't mean that I don't love it. You know, I get it. It's just a truck. It's nothing. It's replaceable. There's 800,000 of those trucks built. And don't get me wrong, there is only one AN 225. But I'm not saying we couldn't build another one. Like, I built tough enough, right? I built it in a parking lot and I drove it across the country. I could build another one. No problem. I could build that truck from the ground up. I know more about that truck than I really care to know. I could build another one. No problem. Whatever. It's fine. You know, I just don't like seeing people hurt each other, dude. You know, guns are all cool. Tanks are all cool. It's all fine and dandy. We screw around with them in video games. And, you know, I'm not saying we shouldn't make tanks. You know, you gotta have a way to defend yourself, man. That's why they call it defense spending, even though it's never used for defense, right? Am I right? Like, I understand the circumstances. It's just a plane, bros. It's just a plane. I'm sad for, you know, the guys that have to fight this. You know, it sucks on both sides. It sucks. You know, I mean, guys, an important thing to understand is Russia's conscripted forces, guys. Some of those folks might not. It's mandatory draft. So, you know, some guys are stuck between a rock and a hard place, man. I know that's going on over there. Like, it's just a bunch of kids, man. That's what hurts about this. It's just kids. Like, I don't want to see 18-year-olds kill each other. That's ridiculous. Never heard of it called offensive spending. Well, yeah, Sim, when you call it offensive spending, you kind of sound like a dick. Right? Yeah, Kamir. Yeah. That's important to understand that, man. It's kids. Guys fought in World War II. The Soviets, the Americans, the British, it's all kids. World War I, all kids. 17, 18 years old. I don't like that, man. I really don't like that. I think there's better use of our time. But that's easy for me to say on the other side of the planet, you know? I understand that. Yeah, Crash, yeah. You know, like, I don't... It's just a plane, dudes. It's just a plane. It can be replaced. These kids, like, that's irreplaceable. You can never just make another person and make it. I mean, you can, like, obviously you can, right? The birds and the bees, am I right? No, like, that person, you are irreplaceable. There can never be another you unless you have an identical twin, and even then, it's a slight variation of you, because you're not going to have the exact same experiences as your twin, right? Every single person is irreplaceable in some way, shape, or form, dude, and that jars on my mind, and that's what sucks. It sucks. Yeah, Waz. Mm-hmm. Cloning. You're irreplaceable. Got him. No, you're irreplaceable, Kappa. Yeah, thanks, guys. Anyway, fellas, it's just a plane. They'll rebuild it. They'll rebuild it. I'm not worried. They'll rebuild it. If anything, they'll rebuild it as a big frick you, which seems to be kind of the MO for those guys. Yeah, frick you. That's right, Green Dragon. Yeah, Hoover had it right. It's a good quote. It's important to understand. You good? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine today, guys. Yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. EJ is easily startled, but he'll be back, and in greater numbers. Anyway, you guys want to get into some Starship stuff? Let's do it. A pet fish played Pokemon Sapphire and found a new bug. Wow, okay. Geek, it's crazy, man. All right. Okay. Still far, I'd watch that. I mean, I think Klitschko would win. From what I heard, he's pretty good at doing that whole thing. I mean, I'm not saying that I would pay to see that, but I would pay to see that. Yeah, I'd pay to see that. I'm a piece of crap for admitting that. Let's do this. Let's get distracted. Absolutely. All right, so. We have, it looks like we got 2 new vidges. Let's start with this one. So nope, just one new video. All right, NASA space flight footage. Here it is. Let's do this. Yeah, sorry, something like that. Klitschko indeed only was, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he'd TKO him. I mean, other guy's kind of old, Kim, don't you think? Dude, all I can think of is the horse picture. You know the pain. It's like, bro, what are you doing? So this is coming from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight here. Make sure you go over and support them. Give the channel a sub. Buy a t-shirt. Get the Wen Hop shirt. That's my favorite one. You supporting them over here allows me to keep watching these videos and putting my terrible commentary over it. Did you see my last for Starship news? Yeah, Tomast, I have the link open. Excuse me, Wen Hop. Yeah, Green. Okay. So what's happening with Starship? We flying anytime soon? No. Not until the 28th, my dude. At the very least. The FAA needs more time for interagency consultation. All right. Just get it done. No, not 2028, Rev World. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. It's March 28th. So 23 days from now. 3028. That's a big crane. Yeah, they extended the crane team, man. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got. Yeah, this new dome right here, the one in the center right there, that one showed up the other day. It came out of the tents. It seems to be a new Starship engine section. Yeah, Hellfish, right? Instrument check ride passed 2 hours ago. 30 knot winds on all 3 approaches. Made for some challenges, but got all done. Nice, got nukes. Hell yeah. Are the chopsticks working? Did they test them anymore? They haven't really done much with them since they stacked, Kim. SpaceX is just doing, they've been doing a lot of cryo tests with Super Heavy and Starship with nitrogen. Okay. Alright, nice truck. Yeah, that's about it. Kim, okay. EJ's personal stupid speculation time. I'm fairly confident they were aiming for the end of February. Remember how I always said that SpaceX would scale to the FAA, right? I think they scaled and made a push to basically get the pad ready to go by the end of February, and I think I think they were right in line with that. So, like, once again, we've seen kind of, I'm not going to say random testing, right? Like, that's not right. Every test is for a reason to get more data, right? But we've seen them do like 4 or 5 cryo tests on ship 20, a cryo test on booster 4, like, and the, okay, EJ, let's go. Come on, lungs, let's go. And we've seen them do. Like, they're loading that pad down with methane, dude. They're loading it down. Like, the pad's full. It's full of fuel. Full of fuel and oxidizer. Yeah, agreed, maybe. Starship development thread. What is this? So, Kem, I think they're kind of just in a holding pattern for now. Remember I said, like, the pad isn't done, so I don't mind it being pushed to February. And I know, like, okay, guys, I always said, like, oh, I think SpaceX is scaling to the FAA. I knew that was going to happen. Knew that was going to happen. Don't ask how. I'm Eric Bergering you. I get it. Knew it was gonna happen because that's how this whole thing kind of works. You don't. If the FAA is what you can say, you know, if the FAA says like, oh, you know, our assessment will be done by then, you want to start launching as soon as possible. It just a little bit of deductive reasoning can figure that one out. But it seems like they pretty much scaled till the end of February. And now they're just kind of waiting. And if you look at that, it kind of makes a lot of sense because they started work on the Cape. Kem, like, I don't know, dude. I don't blame you if you've been out of the loop over the past week, or a little bit more. They are building another Starship pad at 39A, like, confirmed, and they're building another one of these. They're building another factory, and the factory is like the size of SLS's factory in Roberts Road, dude. It's huge. It's bigger than this. Why have you not scrapped the FAA? I don't know if you're kidding or not, dude. The FAA has a lot of safety regulations for the aviation industry, dude. That's part of the reason why the aviation industry is as safe and as cost effective as it is. Yeah. To launch Starship faster, Rev, like, Our system over here, dude, how that all works means that it works very slow. But that's on purpose. Like, that's... In the U.S., stuff is very, very slow. There's checks and balances all over the place. So, like, a president couldn't come in and just be like, nope, no more FAA, screw you. Yeah, there would be multiple... Congress would basically be like, the hell there is. No way. There's a lot of checks and balances. It's just to make sure that nobody consolidates power and, the place turns into a tyrannical government. The Founding Fathers were so weary of that because of England, right? When it's tea in the harbor, right? You really can't... Dude, you have to have a lot of people agree with you to get anything done. But that's in that form, the system is kind of self-correcting, which is cool. I really think that is... I mean, that was ahead of its time 250 years ago. It's still ahead of its time. It's such a smart way to do things. Especially in times like now, man, I'm really happy we have checks and balances, Exactly, Bran. Yep. Exactly. So, yeah, we can't just get rid of the FAA. They ain't going anywhere. I mean, dude, you got to be patient, man. Stuff takes time. Nice car. And I know I keep saying that like a broken record, but it happens. Like, even SpaceX that moves at light speed, man, it's just, it's going to take some time, dude. Yeah, Kev, I really like it. Green, see, that's not... Dude, the FAA isn't as beholden to Congress as people might think it is. It really isn't. The FAA is beholden to safety. They're beholden to safety first and foremost. That's why they go slow. Because understanding the scope of the project and how it's going to affect things is very important for the aviation industry. That's what keeps the aviation industry so safe. And because it's so safe, because of strict maintenance procedures on planes and strict procedures in general, less planes crash. Less planes crash. Cough, MCAS, cough. Yeah, I mean, Forge, if you want to use that 2D freaking soup brain type of thinking, the MCAS and the 737 MAX operated just fine under the FAA's jurisdiction in the United States for multiple months before some other agency overseas and some other country overseas or some other company overseas that's out of the FAA's jurisdiction, crashed it. The MCAS was well understood in the U.S. We understood it. Like, and you could say, like, no, it's not how... That's how it happened. Yeah. So, I mean, the FAA would protect against something like the 737 MAX and what happened with the MCAS going out from happening. It did. It prevented it from happening. That's why the FAA certified the plane. And it operated just fine in the U.S. because it was well understood. This is the kind of stuff that the FAA does. And personally, I want them to put Starship under a magnifying glass. Not because I have any nefarious purpose, but because I want Starship to work, dude. And once the FAA opens the floodgates, then you're good to go. And keep in mind, this is just programmatic environmental assessment. SpaceX basically, like, once this PEA goes through, like, yeah, they're only keyed for a certain amount of launches, but that doesn't mean that can't change. It's just important to understand the behavior. It's important to cross your T's and dot your I's, and then go ham on things. That's how the FAA works. Yeah, of course, Forge. Duh. We knew that already. How did the FAA prevent the MCAS accidents happening in the U.S. when the external agencies were following FAA certification and Boeing criteria for training? Because the FAA certified said training. I mean, Crash, they weren't. Is Is this not well known? Like, I mean, it's not the pilot. Like, it's not the pilot's fault. It's the low cost carrier airlines. It's insufficient training. Like, was this not well known? I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Starship launches as soon as the FAA gives them the okay. Yeah, Swish. It's just going to take some time. That's what I'm saying, dude. Training was not the issue. That is very factually wrong. Well, I mean, you guys clearly know more about it in chat, so discuss among yourselves. Disregard what I said. There you go. Like. I'd love to explain it to you, G, but training wasn't the issue. All right, okay, all right. Fellas, okay. If I'm wrong about something, I don't mind if people say I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong about things. I can't be right about everything. I understand that. So that clearly wasn't what I read. What I read was probably not correct and probably not certified correctly. I apologize. All right? There's people here that clearly know more about it than me. But, okay, so let me ask you this. The context of this conversation, okay? The context of this conversation is that the FAA makes things safer. And you guys understand by picking at the minutia of things, especially when it comes to what I was saying about the MAX, etc., right, is going against the grain there. And now that's on me for not confirming my sources, something that I say to do all the time, okay? But this stuff gets caught up in the minutia all the time. Like, I get it, I'm wrong, and now that's what everybody's focusing on. That's on me. That's my fault. I'm sorry. All right? And, I wish I had the time to explain it to you. I don't mind being wrong about stuff, but you guys got to work with me on the context of what I'm trying to say. This is where this gets very frustrating, okay? Because this just turns into, EJ, you're wrong. And that's fine. I don't care. It's all right. Well, I'll go recheck my sources. I'll figure it out, and I'll give you an update as to what I was wrong about and go from there, etc., because there's clearly a lot of experts in chat, and I'm not trying to be condescending about it. But you understand that you saying, no, that's not true. That's not how that works. The FAA doesn't make things safer. How does it make things safer? It doesn't really help the whole Starship argument. Understand that, right? So, but once again, that's on me. So now, shh. Quiet for a second. So now, what would be the right way to say that? Please, I would really like to tap into this expertise that chat has, and I'm not trying to be condescending. I'd like to understand this expertise for what would be a better analogy for that. I apologize for getting that wrong. It's okay, it's just complex argument, but totally important. Yeah, I understand, Flight Sim, but you guys got to do me a solid and understand the entire context of the conversation. The 737 thing is citing a specific example to prove a point. And I apologize, I'm not perfect. I get stuff wrong from time to time, okay? I try to interpret things in my own way. I try not to regurgitate what other people say unless it's a primary source, etc., But you guys got to bear with me. Just, say, no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. Nope, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're very misinformed. You're not helping me. You're not helping me. That does not help me. EJ, that's not really how that went because of this. Oh, I don't have the time to explain. No, that does not help me. That doesn't help me. And 2 wrongs don't make a right. If I'm wrong and you're gonna be wrong, like that doesn't help. So help me get my sources right, and I'll come up with a better argument. Okie dokie. Does the FAA go into this knowing that Starship is going to fail and fail bad a few more? Yeah, Goalie, of course. Guys, it's programmatic environmental assessment, guys. They're understanding the effects that Starship will have on the environment. What they're studying particularly is high rates of launch from a launch site and how that affects the environment. This information will probably be used for every other spaceport certification around when that time comes. The FAA makes things safer through oversight by ensuring compliance and standardization across the board in the industry. If everyone plays by the same rules, then we can all make sure we understand the rules and revise them when we find issues. Done. Crash, do me a solid and just say that. Say that from now on. And I'll try better to get my sources right. You guys know I try as hard as I can. I clearly have been misinformed on that one. That's fine. Some people's judgment is clearly not okay to trust. But it is what it is, dude. Yeah, no, Green, I'm wrong. I'll go recheck my sources, dude. I don't care. But it doesn't help the whole, waiting for Starship, because like, and once again, this isn't chat's fault. This is my fault. Like, it's my fault for either A, not explaining it enough, or not explaining it well enough, coming up with a well enough analogy, or not saying it right, or using a potentially bad source. But the problem self-corrects. It roots itself out over time, because I don't need to worry about getting stuff wrong. Chat will let me know. Yeah, it's all right. That's fine. It doesn't hurt my ego or anything. What's annoying, the part where I get frustrated, is that chat is so focused on being like, no, that's not right. You're focusing on a fact, one small fact, in a much bigger argument. So because EJ is wrong, because it turns into, no, EJ didn't get his sources right, so okay, this is wrong, right? And then that goes back to the whole gist of the argument that, the FAA doesn't do anything for safety, which I know that's incorrect, and therefore Starship shouldn't have to wait. That you got to understand that and that's me arguing in bad faith. Like, I apologize for doing that. Like, clearly what I read wasn't right. I mean, because look, you don't get that much pushback in the chat for being correct about something, right? Usually. So I'll go reread it again. Maybe I misinterpreted something. That's on me, dude. It is what it is. Another part of it was that Boeing relied on the FAA to certify carryover components from existing platforms, but altering flight characteristics with new systems such as the MCAS, which are evaluated individually, not as a whole. But then again, I totally get your argument, and you're not typically wrong. Well, I mean, yeah, it's fine. We'll like I said, chat is self-correcting. Dude, it doesn't hurt my ego if I'm wrong about something. All you do is get better, right? They're like, oh my God, you just heard this is wrong. Like, just give me something. Give me something to go off of so we can correct it and go from there. That's all I ask. And you guys usually are good about it. But yeah, I mean, guys, I'm not perfect, man. I can misinterpret things. I can not recollect things right. I can misspeak. It happens, dude. I'm here for like 10 hours a day just talking the entire time, Sometimes I don't get it right, and I'm sorry. I can do better. We'll do better. So when is the day? What's the day? Like I said, all good. Yeah. I wouldn't watch a live streamer if I can't disagree. You know what, Alien? I'd rather it be this way, because I don't know everything. And anybody that's dumb enough and arrogant enough to think that they know everything, yeah, probably shouldn't be streaming, Yeah, that's what the patches are for. Yeah, so once again, fellas, I either recollected something wrong, or what I was reading about it wasn't exactly correct, Or it seems like I didn't get the whole gist of it from what I understand. So that's probably misinterpretation on my part. Not that the source information was wrong. I'm just a bonehead and interpreted it incorrectly. It happens, you know? Sirius knows everything, yep. Well, Sirius, did you know that you were going to get timed out right now? Boom, freaking boom! Roasted. Interesting, Sebby. Yeah. Hey, man, you teach us so much about space. It's nice to give it back knowledge. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I mean, once again, it goes back to it, you know, you got it. The FAA makes things a lot safer. It would be really stupid to get rid of it. That was the original. That's where we were, right? I think that's where we're at. And I think that point was very well conveyed over the past 30 minutes, man. Anyway, let's get back into it, dudes. Why can we talk about the 737? Because people misinterpret it. Misinterpret what happened with the 737 and they get it wrong and it pisses people off. Should heed my own advice. But seriously though, I know more about planes than you. I'm just kidding. You know the day throws rice into the air. That's a long way away, dude. Yeah, green for sure. That's a big crane. What the hell was that? Dude, there is like a big bug just flying around over there. I don't know what it was. It's not a wasp, I don't think. What the heck was that thing? Damn, man. That was like a beetle or something. That thing was freaking huge. Moth, check your windows. I don't know. I'm gonna kill it when it comes back, though. The wasp sent some reinforcements. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bugs really like being in your room. It's really warm in here, Tars. That probably has something to do with it. The computers heat this place up like crazy. He just thinks he's your roommate. Bueller, are you paying? If he's not paying, you ain't my roommate. Could you check your DMs when you get a chance? Go ahead, Sneaky. I don't care. Yeah, no. Go ahead. I don't care about that. Sneaky, do I seem like the kind of person that would DMCA somebody over that? No way. I have a feeling if I could get over my anxiety, I would either make the best teacher or the worst teacher in some states. I mean, Pythos, dude, like... Man, okay, pause for a second. I'm not going to say that I don't have anxiety towards getting things wrong. Like, but that's what drives me to make sure I get it right. But even then, you still get it wrong, dude. You gotta... I don't know, man. Like, everybody has anxiety. Like, that's just the way it is, right? Like, that's just what happens. Like, you know, everybody has it. Like, some people are just better at dealing with it, dude. And I'm not saying, like, oh, you gotta get better at dealing with it. Like, maybe I can explain something and maybe it'll click, dude. Dude, it's just a thought. It's just some days it affects it more than others. Like, it was messing with me yesterday, you know? And I'm not perfect. Like, I wish that'd be really nice, but that's chasing impossibility. So, you know, I mean, but by this, like, also at the same time, you know, you're gonna, like, even me, dude, I have confidence. I don't mind putting myself in front of 500-600 people and being wrong about something. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't hurt my ego or anything. I don't care. Because it's about getting information right. My ego is not part of the equation. And I think that's where anxiety comes from in that regard. Like, you know, like, oh my God, people think I'm an idiot. Like, oh my God, I got something wrong. People think I'm, oh my God. Dude, I'm not an engineer, all right? But I play one on Twitch, you know? You can do it, man. You just, dude, you get it wrong, you get it wrong. Move on. It happens. It happens, dude. Yeah, that's not to say that anxiety isn't difficult. It's hard. It's hard. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of emotional discipline to freaking just toss it out the window. And even then, I'm not perfect. Yesterday, I was a freaking wreck, dude. Mama says the alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. No, Colonel Chat, you're wrong. Mama's right. Well, it more meant my anxiety came from a coworker basically saying he was going to pop me if it ever came to some event happening. And by those, I don't know what that means. Like, your perspective is your perspective, dude. Just, like, dude, your mind makes things seem a lot worse than they actually are. Because our mind inherently focuses on negativity. That's just how we are. That's humans. We fought for bajillions of years to become the apex predator. Well, not bajillions. We fought for millions of years to become the apex predator on the planet. Like, it's ingrained into us. Being paranoid and getting anxiety from things and, you know, fight or flight, that's a pretty typical human trait, man. That happens. You know, like, you know, like, yeah, that coworker is going to pop you. Like, if you get into a teaching environment, it's, you know, like, that guy's not there. It's like, if you're teaching people, they're not going to pop you. Like, dude, it's here. Like here on the stream. I know that nobody watches this stream because they hate me. Like, maybe Sirius does, or maybe Yarg does. Like, I don't know. Like, but even then, it's just a joke. Nobody turns on the stream and hate watches me, I don't think. I mean, there's probably somebody that does. And if they did, they probably got super awesome schadenfreude for me getting something wrong in front of 600 people. Whatever, dude. I don't... Like, it is what it is, man. Like, I'm not going to say that the anxiety isn't there by those, but you got to remember that, like, if you're in a teaching environment, especially for, like, a stream like this, that the vast majority of people are here because they want to listen to you. You know, they're there because they want to be there. You're not teaching high school here, you know what I mean? Yes! Streamer got something wrong! Frick you, streamer man! Like, alright. Hey, I hate it when you play the guitar. I came here, believe me, I know. You told me. More than once. So, yeah, by those, just, dude, you just gotta... Man, life's too short, dude. Your brain's gonna focus on that stuff, dude. You gotta, sometimes if you say it out loud, like, by those, just say it out loud, dude. Like, if I go and teach something right now, is that guy gonna pop me in the face? No. Is any of your students gonna pop you in the face? No. No. I mean, Yarg might punch me in the face, to be honest. But that's not, I'm sure that's for different reasons than whomever you're talking about. I hate it when you stretch Space News for hours. All right, cool. Space News just got extended to racing because of what Yarg said right there. Congratulations. Wasn't back in the Air Force that came from X3. Yeah, but by those, that isn't now, dude. You know, use that knowledge and use it to your advantage. You were taught all that stuff about all the things that you've learned about, things that I probably can't even pronounce. Now I hate Yarg. See? See? Now you want to punch Yarg in the face. Now you're the one doing the punching. That's EJ playing chess with the stream. See? I just checked chat's king. Is Yarg the king? No, Yarg's the queen. Yarg's the queen. Yeah. Opinion on this. So, he just used reverse psychology on me. No, he didn't. What was that, Spa? Resurfacing, whatever. Is Yarg your queen? Oh, yeah. Who's the best grip? Which one of you is a key grip? You. I want you to hit Yarg in the face really freaking hard. You kick the door in, the rest should fall like a house of cards. Checkmate. The text about Spa in that tweet is worrying. Sausage curb at Eau Rouge. A sausage at Eau Rouge is going to get someone killed. Like, you went through all this equipment and you make a piece of crap like this. Who's the pawn? Unsubscribed viewers. No. They put a sausage curb on New Rouge. Alright, hold on. What's this? Yeah, that's what I mean about sausage curbs. Yeah, putting sausage curbs down there is probably not a good idea. Because that happens. Right next to the curb. Let me zoom in on a picture. Hold on. Hang on a minute, Chief. Where is the sausage? Is the sausage in the room right now? Yeah, Pythos, it's just a plane that's upside down. Left side curb. Are we talking about... Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's... Who thought that was a good idea? Like, yeah, let's just create high pressure under cars at high speed. That's a good idea. Yeah, let's just do that. Why? What? Michael Massey's parting gift. Oh man. That new grandstand though is cherry. That's gonna be an excellent view. Cause you could probably see bus stop from there. It's gonna be amazing. I don't know, man. I don't mind what they did to Eau Rouge. They reverted it to how it was in the 90s. It's actually, I wouldn't say it's more dangerous now, but yeah. There was runoff there in the 90s. They got rid of it. Yeah, you see that, Rev? That's good, dude. Someone's gonna get hurt, or at the very least have a pretty bad wreck because of that. Especially with a ground effect car. Yeah, that's really stupid. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, yo. Oh my god. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Maybe it's to keep people off that side of the track, dude. You know, you put that there, you know no one's going to drive over there because they'll crash. Like, that's definite crash. Could you explain why that's so dangerous? I'm not a big fan of the racing stuff. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. Ground effect. You know what ground effect is, right? When a plane I'm talking about in planes, not in cars. What's the ground effect? Ground effect with an airplane is when the plane gets near the ground, the wings force the air into the ground and it compresses against the ground so the plane appears to float, right? There's ground effect with cars, but it kind of does the opposite of that, okay? A ground effect with cars is designed to not create high pressure underneath an aerofoil. It's designed to create high pressure on top, hence spoiler, not wing, right? So ground effect with cars, right, is designed to create high pressure over the top of the car and extremely low pressure to the point of there being a vacuum underneath the car at high speed. And that vacuum sucks the car down into the ground because there's low pressure, super high pressure on the top, super low pressure under it. It does down lift. You lift downwards, downforce, right? And that ground effect sucks the back of the car into the ground. Now, in a curve where you hit the apex here, right? You hit the apex here, probably going about 180 miles an hour, easily in a Formula One car. I don't think I need to tell you why disturbing the air underneath the car via a bump in the road, compressing... There's that freaking fly again. Compressing the air underneath the car would be really bad. That would be like with a plane making turbulent air underneath a ground effect vehicle. What is it going to do? It's going to stop airplaning really fast. That will make a car stop carring very quickly if someone hits it. So yeah, I mean that's the technical thing. The Formula One cars are purposefully disturbing the air. They're purposefully making low pressure underneath the car so it sucks it to the ground, right? And if you compress the air by going over that bump, if you compress the air underneath the car because there's a heightened surface, you're going to compress it. And if the pressure differential between the top and the bottom goes in favor of underneath, the car lifts. It flies into the air. Kind of like that. Yeah, it'll become an airplane very quickly. And cars that are designed to suck the air into the ground and do the opposite of a wing, when they start flying, they tend to flip over and then land upside down. Yeah. Here, I can give you a good case example of this if you want. So check this out. Mercedes, 1999. Mark Webber's driving the car, and they didn't get the suspension right on the Mulsanne straight, and the bumps on the track were enough, like that bump in the road right there, were enough to compress the air underneath the car. Watch what it does.
The Toyota lights ablaze. Make sure the slower cars see them.
Watch the car in fourth. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The Mercedes has taken off. That's Peter Dumbreck at the wheel of the number 5 Mercedes.
Oh, that was Dumbreck. That wasn't Mark Webber. Mark Webber's car did the same thing. See what I'm talking about? Wait, you're telling me flying cars already exist? No. I'm telling you that flying cars don't exist. Cars that fall with style exist. Did he live? Yeah. Dumbreck survived. So did Mark Webber. But did you see what that car did? It took off. Dude, I don't think I need to explain why that's bad for a Formula One car going 200 miles an hour. I mean, that car is higher than the Bridgestone sign. Dude, the Bridgestone sign is way up in the air. That's like good 3-4 stories up in the air. That car is about 100 feet up. Well, maybe not 100 feet. Maybe 50. But still. I didn't know you could fall upward. Well, it falls upward for a second, and then it falls downward right there.
The Mercedes has taken off. That's Peter Dumbreck at the wheel of the number 5 Mercedes.
The track marshals are like, what do we do? Mark Webber's crash left an imprint on me how safe these cars are. Yep. I can't believe it. It literally took off. Yeah, that's why everybody's saying that's really unsafe. Yeah, once again, you can literally see the bumps in the road from the reflection of the light. See those bumps right there on the Mulsanne straight? And you see the car go, that car goes over the bump, it's just fine. The Mercedes goes over the bump and it disturbs the air just right. And now you have a lot of compressed air right here. You have a lot of compressed air right here. And you have extremely low pressure on the back. Car takes off. It turns into a wing. I mean, it's kind of nuts, dude. Look at, you can see the low pressure pocket behind that Mercedes from the dust being kicked up on the road. See that? Look at that might be the shadow. Hold on. Yeah, that's just the shadow. That's a shame. I thought you could see it. Oh no, you can kind of see it. It's kind of there. That ain't no shadow though, right there, Eagle. That is definitely not a shadow. What is that? Yeah!
Oh my God, the Mercedes.
Crazy, right? Yeah. And then the funny thing is that Webber's car did the same thing, dude. Here.
Heading out.
Here, let's take a look. That was one of the cars. This is the other one. Hold on. Where is it? Trying to find it here. Well, the front fell off. Yeah, Sebby, yeah, that's right. There was Macau. Yeah, see? Same spot. Same spot on the track. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's the same spot. It might not be. But there's a... See, there's a hill. It crested the hill and the thing just took off. Yeah, Mark Webber. Freaking stupid fly keeps flying around. But yeah, grab... Hopefully that helps. Yeah, that's why that's dangerous. I mean, someone's gonna cut that corner a little too quickly and it's gonna fly. Yeah, I don't know why they would do that. Yeah, that's a really bad idea. Oh yeah, there's Pironi's crash. Look at this. Look at what the sausage did. This car doesn't even use the ground effect that the Formula 1 cars nowadays have. Grab, watch this. This car on the left. See the sausage right there? Same angle. Bye-bye. Physics do be like that though. And then there's hang on. Give me 1 second. I don't know if you get thing logged in. Whatever. What is the purpose of the sausage? It's an obstacle. It's an obstacle. Like if you were walking on an obstacle course. Racetracks have stuff like that. They have obstacles. The sausage curbs are designed to penalize you if you try to cut the corner. In this case, penalizing you ends your race and could end your life. Yeah. Guys, I always say, like, you know, let the drivers race. Let the drivers race. No. No. The dirt would be enough to really screw somebody up. You don't need that there. Yeah. Yeah, Abby Eaton broke her spine hitting a freaking sausage. It's literally a speed bump. It's a speed bump. Think about hitting a speed bump at like 200 miles an hour. It's designed to really screw with you. Basically, it's the track designer's way of saying don't drive over here. Yeah, Racer, that's the rework at Spa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not gonna... I don't know why they put it there. That's not gonna end well. They should probably cover it up, dude. Like, probably cover it up. That explanation was stonks. Thanks, dude. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. I mean, grab, like, one of the reasons why I like Formula 1 is because it's aerospace engineering, but backwards. It's just upside down aerospace engineering. Yeah, that's when frickin' Weber frickin', yeah, Grab, you want to see what happens when the front wing comes off at high speed? Watch this. So, watch this. Oh, no more front wing. That's the same guy as the Mercedes. Same dude. You fucking throw the steering wheel. God damn it. Oh, front wing goes. Look at it take off. Dude, you see that? You know how much... Dude, think about how much downforce that front wing is actually providing. The front wing went away, right? And the car immediately launched in the air. Like, dude, the tires didn't even touch. His front wing breaks off, and it looks like the nose gets a bit of the tire. But with no downforce over the front, right? Nope. Aerodynamics are going to do their thing. Weber should have been a pilot. He hit the sign? Wait, what? He hit the sign? Oh, he did hit the sign. I never noticed that. Oof, that hurts, man. Oh, you're going to feel that one the next day. I love Weber, though, doing the most Australian freaking thing ever. Just, God damn it. It's like you were just involved in a potentially fatal crash. Throws the steering wheel. Ah, freaking hell, mate. Oop. He's just... Did he hit the sign, Bandit? I can't... Oh, he did hit the sign! What? Dude, how have I never noticed that? Oh. Oh, yep. That must have been... Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good. Whoever's just like, ah, god damn it, mate. Pretty crazy, right? I mean, yeah, like I said, that's why I don't mind sharing Formula One news, because it's aerospace engineering. That's what it is. Anyway, let's jump back into Starship, shall we? Yeah, Lego, right? Screw you guys, I'm going home. Alright. Got more rings being stacked up. What if they put water barrels in sand instead of a death sausage? So you want water dousing the fastest part of the track where water impedes grip. So one car hits it, splashes water on the track, now no cars can drive through it. Yeah, I mean, I would put nothing there. Like, you don't need to penalize people in that spot. That corner is extremely difficult to drive in the first place. Hey, grid fins. Yeah, Lego, right?
Discovery, go at throttle.
Owens, 41-month resub. Wonder if that thing is permanent. Yep. Purge line. John Honeycutt commented on the OIG. Oh. Yeah, Hell Hydra. I feel not gonna say I feel like eating my vindicated cake, but I feel pretty vindicated right now. It's pretty awesome. Is that a full-scale super heavy? Yep. Yeah, man. I'm starting to think that the stack and everything Lego might be ready to go. It's the FAA that's kind of holding them at this point because the pad and everything's ready to go. The testing regime doesn't make sense because they just keep doing cryo tests. So that tells me that they're in a holding pattern. Yeah, Caviar, that's right. Yeah, man, right. How tall is that crane? The buildings that are next to it, the tall buildings that are next to the crane are about 200 feet tall. Oh, there's the new nose cone. No spots for aero surfaces from what I've seen here. So what would the not spec methane tanks be used for? Looking nice? Just leave them. Don't hook them up, just leave them there. It's going to cost money to take them apart. Screw that. Yeah, see, they're filling up the pad with fuel, dudes. Is that a big rig wrecker? Oh man, that's really cool. Hey, what do I do, chat? What do I do, chat? Where do I go? The Intimidator. Big rig wrecker's mine. Oh man, that's cool. That looks like the trailer that caught on fire the other day. Trailer brakes failed. Yeah, GG, she's a beast, dude. EJ1 wrecker truck. Oh, don't do that to me. I don't know, King. I don't know what I want to work on. Alright. We can mess with more Mechazilla, I suppose. I kind of want to remake it, to be honest. It's clear that that craft file is pretty corrupted. Something is wrong with it, because remember how it flew into space last time? Yeah, it's probably fix that. EJ, when Peter built, I'm more of an auto car kind of guy, to be honest, Bandit. Thought you wanted to work on a beluga. Why would I wanted to make a piece of trash? Would you consider updating your full starship? I don't know, maybe. Alright, what is this? What did you want me to see here? This is a Starship development thread on the SpaceX subreddit, and this was posted 6 hours ago. What does it say? I'll zoom it in for the people that are on mobile. This is from user Valerian. Okay, what's this guy saying? Reproducing an offline discussion, but currently SpaceX actions are a good percentage of Starlink will be signed over to defense to circumvent internet and conventional satellite jamming. Programming to circumvent Starlink jamming will be full-time. Single satellites can be targeted and jammed, but you can't jam a whole fleet.
Go at throttle up.
AIA between satellite and jam terminals will be so fast that jamming will only last a couple of seconds. This arrangement has been discussed with the government for a couple of years. Means lifting a lot more satellites into orbit pretty dang quick, not just Starlink, which means a lot more Falcon 9 launches and Falcon 9 builds. This is going to be an absolutely crazy busy year for SpaceX, hence possible delays on non-essential projects. Axiom launches might also be canceled. I mean, it's off the subreddit. I don't know that person. Take that with a grain of salt. Same time this appeared on SAM. I don't know, Geek, maybe. Notice of intent to sole source low Earth orbit satellite and equipment. This is a contract that was put out from the Department of Defense, sub-tier Department of the Navy, NavAir. Oh, yeah, Training Systems Division. Okay. Okay. I think the DoD is buying part of Starlink. I'm confused on differences between SN20 and the N module Starship, man. I'm behind on space news. 20 is another prototype Lego. Its design is already outdated. It hasn't even flown yet. SpaceX has upgraded the design. Ship 24 is being built right now. And, yeah, it's totally different. The umbilicals are different. The pipe, the internal plumbing's all different. Yeah. It's pretty crazy how fast they're going. Does Starlink outperform Tidris? It's more, I think the Department of Defense is after Starlink for the reasons pretty much that was entailed in that Reddit post. You know, Elon also said on Twitter that Starlink is going to be, you know, they're focusing on Starlink cybersecurity now. I honestly, that kind of corroborates what that user is saying. You know, the sam.gov contract, along with what Elon said on Twitter, that sounds about right. I mean, I don't think they would cancel an Axiom mission because they paid for it already. DoD did release this last year. We know that the Department of Defense is involved with Starlink. We knew that. That was public information. Did you see the Booster 7 engine section pictures by Nick? I still have I have them teed up. I have to here, I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, between what Elon said, what that user said and everything, that seems about right. How's the progress on the off-stream KSP stuff is going? Banana Time was going good. I haven't worked on it this week at all because of mortgage stuff. So, yeah, bear with me on that one. They've mentioned Starlink as a potential like backup use for Tidris, but or uses. We've heard they would have uses that Starlink would interface with the F-35, so the F-35 could operate a bunch of drones remotely, etc., etc. There's a lot of things. I mean, it's no secret that SpaceX is getting defense contracts. It's not just NASA stuff. We know that U.S. Transportation Command is looking at Starship stuff. And this is the part where I'm going to be a little bit speculative, but bear with me. Dude, I've heard some ridiculous things. Once again, it's probably misinformation. I've heard some nuts things about what Transportation Command wants to do with Starship. And a bunch of other stuff. Mortgage, did you find a house? No, Bandit. I'll talk about mortgage stuff in a second. I've heard some nutso stuff. I'm not going to say where, and it's just whispers, so I can't confirm it, so who knows. But we know in public information is that public information is that the U.S. Transportation Command wants to be able to move humanitarian supplies very quickly anywhere around the world. And also, I think just a personal thing to add is I don't, you know, everybody kind of was like, what, you want to use a Starship to be able to put supplies, humanitarian aid anywhere in the world in like less than 15 minutes? And it seemed like a really kind of far-fetched idea at the time. But I could think of several reasons why you'd probably want that capability now. Times change. Times change. Yeah, Forge. Yeah, Throttle Junkie. Starlink, you can't jam. You can't jam it. How are you going to jam 1,000 satellites coming over the horizon? It's impossible. Well, nothing is impossible. You build a fort, someone's going to make a bigger trebuchet. That's just how this works. With current technology, you're probably not going to do that. Take out the base stations. Oh yeah, there's the June bug up there. It is a June bug. Let's just beat the devil out of it, shall we? Booyah! What kind of jam? Raspberry. Rip devil. At the same time... Sorry. At the same time... Yeah, I don't know, Kim. Maybe. Did you win? Hi, SpongeBob. Yeah. A June bug in March? I don't know, Sebi. I don't know if it was a June bug. It was some kind of bug. I'm not a freaking bug biologist. You want to learn more? This is a STEM stream, all right? This is an engineering stream. You want to learn more about bugs? Find a bugologist. I don't know what it was. I'll be honest with you. You blast RF noise across a given frequency spectrum. Yeah. Yeah, bug spurt. Yep. Bug spurt. Da Vinci, what would be the German way to say that? Bug expert? We should just call it whatever that word is. Is that how Alizarin Crimson is made? That's right. Are you telling us to bug off? Not you. Kafa experte. Alright, we'll just call it that. Cow expert. Alright, cool. Etymologist. Only good bug is a dead bug. There's a bug in the system. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Alright. So yeah. Guys, yes. Dude. You know, I think Starship in defense, and I think ODSTs from Halo. But I don't think that that's what's going on. An entomology. What's funny? Am I funny? How am I funny? Funny how? Funny like a clown? Like I'm here to amuse you? What's funny? How am I funny? I'm funny. You don't know the chat. You know what you said. How am I funny? What am I funny? How? Like I'm a freaking clown? What the frick is so freaking funny about me? Now, King, here's the thing. I see starships, right? Starship ODSTs, right? Say that's a thing, right? Suborbital trajectory? Do we launch them from the surface, or do they come down from space like actual ODST pods? Everybody funny. You funny too. I don't know, man. Let me go ask my wife. Why not both? So, what's going to hold all those starships? If they put them on orbit, are we going to make a Halo frigate in real life, or what? Dropship in a starship. Launch, rotate, open the cargo bay door, release the dropship. Oh god, that would be freaking cool, Caviar. That'd be pretty freaking sweet. So FOBs, but with men instead of warheads, yeah. Wait, what do you mean the rebels blew up the Death Star? What do you mean, what would Starship can dock to Starship? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. What the heck is an aluminum falcon? Yeah, King. Hence humanitarian supplies. I've been chatting with someone from the Department of Defense about the rocket cargo program. What he said was that cargo will be transported at cargo hubs like Diego Garcia and such. Yeah. I mean, Forge, we said that Starship probably wouldn't drop into the front lines. I mean, as cool as that would be, that'd be ridiculous. Can you imagine like 3 or 4 starships doing this? Like, doing that, like, and then coming down and landing and then like out the side? Like, as unrealistic as that would be, because like a tank shell through one of them and that's game over. Like, you know, like, just, you make a nice, I mean, you're flying around on a big explosive. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, as cool as that would be, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think, yeah, you know, they would work more in line with, like, a C5 or a C-17, stuff like that. What about a humanitarian supply cannon? Isn't that just a fire truck? Deep strike. Ridiculous. With all this, I still need another 4K Delta V to put this station into Kerbal orbit. Yikes. That's a big one. Yeah, Dave, it'd be pretty nuts, dude. Night, son. Okay. Alright, last bit here. Let's see what we got. Possible Booster 7 thrust section has been moved out of the production tent. Observe the header tank inside the section and the cyberpunk-looking quick disconnect plate. Hydraulic power unit and composite overwrap pressure vessels are already installed into the side of this section. Alright, let's see. This is a new picture coming from Nick. See, it's coming from Nick. Nick's cool. What is that? Whoa. Forge. What is that thing? Huh. That's the hydraulic power unit right there. This is the mechanism that makes the rocket engines wiggle. It's the hydraulics for the gimbal. I don't know what that is. It's a thing that does things. And then, yeah, dude, look at the wiring. The wiring's so crisp. Those are COPVs for engine restart capability. Jeez. And then there's the header tank up at the top. So, why would they put a header tank at the bottom? What are they trying to do? Yeah, it looks like Booster 4 is freaking useless, dude, compared to this thing. Why would we need header tanks on a booster? I'm actually asking. I don't know. So that's a header tank. What's a header tank? It's a fuel tank inside of a fuel tank. Now, the idea is that you would use that. Starship has a header tank. They have header tanks for landing fuel. Now, why would you need that? Well, you would need a header tank with Starship because you have to prevent your propellants from boiling off. And the best way to prevent your propellants from boiling off is to keep them cold. So if you evac this tank, right? You evac the outer tank and make it vacuum, and it's shielding the sun, so that tank will stay cold and you'd prevent boil off. But the thing is, what's strange is that on Starship that makes sense because it's going to be on orbit and then it's got to come back down, so it needs to preserve the propellants for long periods of time because it's going to go up and it's going to stay on orbit and it's going to come back down. Why would the booster have header tanks? Small tank, less sloshing means better start. Yeah, that seems about right, Wisp. Yeah, that sounds correct. Like, you won't need to... It's not because they need to store the propellants for long periods of time. The booster is not going to fly for more than 6 minutes at a time. Maybe it has something to do with stage separation, stop sloshing. Yeah, possible. From what I heard, the booster is big, and it can generate so much lift that it can flip itself. So to get a low center of gravity, they need the low header tank. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. Once again, that photo's coming from Nick and Sweeney over at NASA Spaceflight. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll probably look into it more on Monday, or not Monday, on Tuesday. So, does your Neptune